let's blast off. Let's get it twisted. Let's get it popping. Okay. Fraudulent gamer Elon calls me out. Colombia student hunted by ICE. Korean Colombia student hunted by ICE over pro-Palestine activism. Can I meet you here in New York? No. I show my wife one of the TikTok edits you reposted, and now she keeps sending me thirst trap edits that end up in her feed. Nice. That's good. Myth is no longer balling with us because he's training. And I think playing basketball probably wouldn't be the best idea. He might accidentally get like injured or something. Oscar winner Hamdan released by IOF after detention and lynching. I'm also trying to see if I can get Hamdan on the stream to interview him about what took place, what happened. How much are you weighing now? A couple days ago on the scale, I saw a very scary number. I saw 234 and it freaked me out. That means I'm like 10 pounds above the lowest weight I've been since I lost all this weight. And then today I'm back down to 229. So that's good. We're like a week ago, I was like back up or shot up to 234. And now I'm down to 229 again. So we're good. We're good. And yes, I saw that Elon called me a fraud on Twitter. Please stop. Oh my God. You guys are annoying. Oh my God. Every day now. We got to do the text every day. We have to do the text meta every day now. Probably water weight from being sick. I don't know. Old debate with Charlie's blown up. Yeah, I know. I saw this and I reposted it recently.
Like, why are you trying to always take away their right to protest?
Hold on. I'll show you guys this one. Yeah, this one banged. Just put it on screen now before a new chatter asks you about it for hours. Yeah, I'm not going to do the text. And also, the text doesn't even matter. The text doesn't even matter. The text doesn't even matter. People don't even read the text messages on the screen because they're freaking annoying. Okay? Fraudulent gamer Elon calls me out. Korean Colombia student hunted by ICE over pro-Palestine activism. Oscar winner Hamdan released by IOF after detention and lynching. Yemen text message. Yemen Houthi group chat leak. Houthi group chat leaks. Get in now. Elon is the fourth word in your stream title. There's no device on which you can be watching the stream and not see the fourth word of the title. It's literally weaponizing competence at this point if people ask you about it. Yeah, I know. I put it on there as the top thing. And people are still behaving oblivious because they're annoying. I would read the text. What is that? Ashton Hall was noted. What is nuded? What does that mean? Daily nude? I already blasted off, chat. You missed it. I used this meme, which is not a meme at all. Woman slams selfish paragliders who made her think Hamas were invading Doncaster. A woman panicked in her village near Doncaster, was under attack when she spotted a number of paragliders flying over her home and thought they were from Hamas. Free parking. I saw a sign that said free parking and I thought to myself, babe, is that fucking sign saying free Palestine? I don't know what has become of Londonistan. Hamdan is the New York City candidate? No, the New York City candidate is Zoran. Hello? Why are you both wrong? I saw a license plate recently that said Mamas, and I had a weird tired moment. Wait, that was in Vegas. There was a license plate in Las Vegas in the parking lot of the Bernie rally that literally had Mamas in it. Like the license plate said Mamas. And I saw it. I didn't make a note of it. I didn't say anything, but I unironically at first glance thought the license plate was Hamas. Megaphonics is so parasocial that he saw the license plate on stream and he thought he saw it in the real world. Oh my God. Oh my God. Megaphonics. Oh my God, Megaphonics. Your world is colliding today. If only I had watched if only Ben Stiller got in on the fun somehow in this entire process, you would probably explode. Okay? You would probably die if Ben Stiller and Severance somehow also was incorporated into the broadcast today. That would be the triple Monty. All of your favorite things in one place. Just perma me already is too nice out today to be inside. Okay, dude. Let's not act like if you got perma'd, you would go outside. That would imply you would miss all of the things that happened on the stream. Yeah, there you go. Severance mention for wife of phonics. Big wife guy. Yeah. Yeah, I saw Jasmine Crockett make fun of Greg Abbott being in a wheelchair, and I'm sorry, but that's funny. Get mad all you want. We're in a very different era now. You can't get mad at things like that, okay? You can't get mad at things like that any longer. Comedy is legal now, okay? I was actually on the phone with Alex this morning, Lolo, and I was talking to him about the R word and how, like, lame it already was and how extra lame it has become. I think now if you say the R word, if you say the R word, you are the biggest loser on the planet, because these guys like 56-year-old hedge fund managers think they're being bad when they say it, right? It is the lamest word to use. Having said that, those very same people who are like, ooh, we're being bad. I said retard. Like, oh my God, I'm being so bad. Oh, like those guys will then turn around and fucking cry when Jasmine Crockett says, calls Texas Governor Greg Abbott Governor Hot Wheels. Okay. It's just like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't be this much of a weirdo. You can't, on the one hand, be like, ooh, we got it. Like there are accounts on Twitter called like R word finder. Okay. Like that's crazy. It's crazy. It's what is this? Replace the R word with fetard when your brain breaks and you become extra shitty. Fetard? What? That sounds French. Saying the R word and driving a Cybertruck are the new loser meta. Yeah. This is who everyone who says the R word. Yeah. But like, this is funny and cute. They're not being funny or cute. They're being losers, dude. They're being sweaty, unwashed losers. In French, fetard means party goer. Wow. Sacre bleu, fetard. Jasmine Crockett comes out with some good moments like the bleach blonde body stuff, butch body stuff. Trump is live, signing executive orders again. My goat, he loves that.
Many of these things should have taken place.
The R word in French means late. So if you were late in a French school, you would need an R word pass. Yeah. In any case, we'll get to all of that. Let's showcase once again the blast off meme, the blast off. We're blasting off. It's blasting off. We're blasting. I'm thinking we're blasting. Okay. I'm thinking we're blasting. That's a blast off, dude. Did you hear Trump's Kennedy Center leaks? He wants to watch musicals again. Yeah, I know, but not gay ones. He wants not woke musicals like Cats, which is, of course, obviously not a gay musical. Dude, having a not gay musical is like saying you want a not gay parade, okay? Just, it's impossible. It's a gay thing. Oh, I want to suck a dick, but not in a gay way, okay? Pause, no homo. I want to suck a penis, but like in a non-gay way. It's like, no, dude, you're still sucking a penis, okay? It's at least a little gay. Even if it's, and I'm not even on some transphobic shit. Like, even if it's girl cock, there's like a little bit. That's why there's a term for it. You can say you're pan or whatever. You know what I mean? If you're sucking on girl cock, it's still a little, like, it's a little bit, you know? It's a little bit. Not like, oh, you like dudes, but it's a little queer, right? There's just no, you can't just be like, oh, I want to do a musical. I want to do a musical, but it's not gay. It's gay. It's either a little gay or very gay. It's the same principle behind parades. Little gay or very gay. Now, is it bad to be gay? No, of course not. Trump is gay as hell. And it's probably one of his best qualities. I mean, look at how zesty he is. Look at what he's doing right now. Look at the way he's signing this. He's such a queen. Okay?
So we're going to go around the room a little bit quickly, and we're going to introduce these very outstanding people. They've had
fifth column MB. I hope you get canceled. Girl cock's the shittest thing ever. Don't read my username, please.
Incredible people that going along as rapidly.
Trans chatter here. You're literally wrong.
Ahead of
what do you mean?
Anybody else thus far? So I want to thank John Thune. He's done a very good job in Senate. We're being delayed as much as possible by Democrats, but that's standard. It gets to be just standard.
If Gawk is even a little gay, you're saying trans women are mostly women, but not actually really? No, I'm not saying that. Trans women are women, okay? It's the same principle behind like high-fiving your cis girlfriend, okay? It's a little gay. That doesn't make your girlfriend not a girl, cis or trans, okay? That's it. And also, it's a fucking joke. Comedy is legal now.
The world has America First patriots. And all
Like being or getting pegged, okay? Getting pegged by your cis girlfriend who has a strap on. It's a little gay. It's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing, okay? But it's a little gay. Cis, trans, doesn't matter. Same principle behind getting your ass eaten, okay? A little gay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a little gay. Everyone's a little gay. It is what it is.
I'm Leah Campos. I'm going to represent the President in the Dominican Republic. Mr. President, thank you for the honor to serve you in the Dominican Republic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Waltz, National Security Advisor. Look forward to working with every one of you on behalf of the President, his leadership.
Oh, my goat, Mr. Text, Mr. Group Chat, Mike Waltz. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Mike Waltz. I like to make group chats. I'm here to make sure that everyone here is copacetic.
To the Ambassador to Panama. It truly is an honor, President.
Convirat nominee to the Republic of Turkey. Delighted and honored to be with you, Mr. President, in that host country, which is one of the most ancient in civilization, is in search for your peace, prosperity, and security program. Thank
Good
you.
place.
Mr. President.
Good leader, too.
Yeah, Mr. President, thank you. It's an honor. I'm Pete Hookster, you know that.
Yeah.
But I am going to Canada. I look forward to serving you in Canada and your agenda.
Thanks, Pete.
Well, Johnson, sir, thank you for the nomination to represent you and the United States to the United Mexican States. And I'm really encouraged by some of the conversations you've had with President Sheinbaum recently and to the increase in support that we've seen out of her government along our border on the important issues. So thank you, sir.
They have stepped it up a lot,
Yes, sir.
Mexico and Canada, so see how it works, right?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Matt Whitaker from Des Moines, Iowa. I'm proud to, as soon as I'm confirmed, go represent you at the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
Okay, thank you, man.
George Glass, on my way to Japan. Previous administration, I served for you in Portugal. It is a great honor to be able to do this a second time. Thank
Thank you very
for
much.
the opportunity.
Thank you, George.
President Trump, my name is Ken Howry. I'm your nominee to be ambassador to the Kingdom of Denmark, very close partner and ally. I served for you last time, the Kingdom of Sweden. I want to thank you for the faith you place in me as your nominee to Denmark.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
President Trump, thank you for the honor of a lifetime. My name is Stacy Feinberg, and hopefully I'll have the honor of serving in Luxembourg. And I think this is the greatest presidency and the greatest time in history, and it's all because of you.
Thank you very much.
Nicole McGraw, nominated to serve in Croatia, and it's such an honor to be here with you today. And to
Croatia!
President Trump, thank you very much for your nomination to the Republic of Chile. And let me tell you, Border Patrol agents are so thankful for everything that you've done for them. But it's
That
it's
man
great.
knows more about the border than anybody, I want to tell you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks.
much.
Good
Good
luck.
afternoon, Mr. President. Brian Birch. If I'm confirmed, I'll be representing you at the Holy See. And Catholics are very proud of your work. Your team is doing an excellent job, so thank you. Very honored to serve.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, thank you again for the honor, the greatest privilege. My name is Summer Sparkus. I will serve this great man at the Republic of Malta.
Thank you, Mr. President. Joe Popolo from Dallas,
I
Texas.
love this because the ambassadorship positions are basically like who's got motion. If you're a politician, if you're actively a politician and was a senator, or like if you had a formative role, obviously this is the worst demon. Hold on, let's watch this, and I'll give you
You've done more for Israel than any president.
Oh, Mike Huckabee! You've done more for Israel.
We're grateful.
Am Israel ha! Mike Huckabee.
Thank you, Mike. And Mike is an outstanding guy. They all are. Mike, I think, is going to do wonders for Israel. He actually probably gets along with both sides, and that'll be interesting to see. But the world is watching you, Mike, so good luck. Good luck. You're going to do well. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, thank you for this great honor to serve the Republic of Italy and San Marino. I'm so looking forward to going over there and working with that great ally, and for the pleasure to serve you. Your staff has been great working with us and have done a great job, and we really appreciate them. Thank you, sir, for pushing this along.
Have a good time. A really good time.
I'm Warren Stevens from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I have the honor to represent the President and the United States in Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And to be chosen to go to such an important ally of ours is, I know, sort of enough. Looking forward to it, but thank you for the honor.
Both of the Huckabees are on Ozempic. Both of them. Both Mike and Sarah Huckabee. They both are on Ozempic.
Two guys, and then you add on Mike. I think they have a little more money than Mike, but he's got some other advantages. He's got some other, like upstairs, he's got some big advantages.
Yeah, he does.
It's very
Trump has
exciting.
selected a man who wants that Barack Obama looks like a skinny
Would you
ghetto
have any
crackhead to
questions,
serve
media,
as our ambassador
for
to
the,
South Africa.
People that you just saw, so outstanding, and I thought it would be nice to bring them before you. And so if you have any questions, please.
Talks in Saudi Arabia. It sounds like you made some progress on a Black Sea ceasefire.
Yeah, this is entirely, this is a room full of dipshits who have, this is a room full of dipshits who sucked off Trump hard enough to get like ambassadorship positions. It's only a demotion. It's only a demotion that counts as exile if you're like a prominent political leader and then they send you off into like a shitty country, like a lame country that you don't want to be at. But outside of that, it's almost always just like rich wives of campaign contributors getting positions of ambassadorship to just like basically go and have fun. Or if you are personally a sociopathic Israel dick rider that is one of the biggest Israel dick riders of all time, like you will outflank most Jews on Israel, like Mike Huckabee, because you're an evangelical sociopath who believes that Jews need to be sent to the desert so that Jesus Christ can come back to earth and like fight in Megiddo. Then you become the Israel ambassador. But it's basically a bullshit job for the most part, or CIA.
And it allows for people to get together, mediate it, arbitrate it, and see if we can get it stopped. And I think it will. That'll get stopped.
What countries are you looking to work with, sir?
Nuke Hoscord.
We have other countries involved, and they're involved very strongly in the process, and that'll be resolved. That's actually, as bad as it is, that's the least of the problems. So we'll get that resolved.
Is Hoscord still locked in on the sucking a gawk? Sucking a gawk is a little queer, not in like a bad way or anything. Is that what Hoscord is trapped on? I mean, I know that was a joke, but I assume that was a little bomb that I dropped in the beginning of the broadcast as a bro thought jokes would fly.
If they're successful, I know Senator Kennedy has backed it, Marjorie Taylor Greene in Congress has backed it, would you be interested in defunding and taking away taxpayer dollars to NPR and PBS?
Well, I would love to do that. I think it's very unfair. It's been very biased, the whole group. I mean, a whole group of them. And frankly, there's plenty look at all the media you have right now. There's plenty of coverage. I was from a different age, and they spend more money than any other network of its type ever conceived. So the kind of money that's being wasted, and it's a very biased view, you know that better than anybody. And I'd be honored to see it end. We're well covered. Look at all the people that we have here today. We're well covered, and we don't need it, and it's a waste of money. Especially, I don't even know what DOGE's recommendation is. I assume their recommendation is to close them up.
Well, after they hear all the testimony, I think they're going to make a decision relatively sooner than later.
Yeah.
But we'll see what that turns out.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't, because they have found so much waste, fraud, and abuse, hundreds of billions of dollars, and just waste, fraud, abuse. You heard yesterday some of the new things that were found. 22 billion just in environment, billion. You know, if you had 22 million, Warren, it would be nice, but 22 billion put into environmental accounts. One was 2 billion into one account, Stacey Abrams, where they had $100 in the account. And just before I came in, they put $2 billion. And you guys are looking, so you mean 2 million or maybe 200,000? No, $2 billion were put in the account. What do you think of that, Mike? Do you think that's a straight deal, 2 billion?
Just write me the check, Mr. President. I'll take it with me to Israel.
It's a horrible thing, and we have so many of those things. So they've done an incredible job, and the country wants to hear it. I think DOGE is actually very popular because of what's happening. They're hearing about all of these scams and for big money, tremendous amount. And when you add it up, just hundreds of billions of dollars being wasted. and much of it's fraud. You know, we talk about waste, and it is waste and abuse, but a lot of it's fraud too.
If Planned Parenthood is defunded, would you look into the harvesting of baby organs that they've done throughout the years and maybe go after some criminal prosecution on that?
Well, I think you're talking about a subject that is a heated subject, and we'll look into it. We're going to look into everything, but that's certainly a subject that's been debated for a long time, and we will look into it, yeah.
Mr. President, some senators have expressed hope that the White House will support a rescission package to codify some of the DOGE cuts into law. What is the White House?
You know what? I think we're going to do that. I think they're going to do it. I think we're also going to be codifying a lot of the executive orders that we've done, which have been very popular. And we're looking at one, I will tell you right now, that I think perhaps will be controversial, but not with the people, and that's sanctuary cities. We're going to end sanctuary cities for some of these jurisdictions that aren't cooperating with law enforcement. They're guarding criminals. They're taking the rights away from the citizens of this state and their city. And we're going to be ending sanctuary cities if we find it necessary to do in certain major areas. And we may just end the entire thing altogether, because it's just a way of protecting criminals, and nobody else is benefited by that. And for some reason, Democrats want to keep and they want to shield criminals from being sent back to their countries or being sent to prison. And in the meantime, the crime rate has gone through the roof. Under Biden, it was through the roof. It's starting to come down, but we're taking a lot of people out of here. So we may be presenting you very shortly with a executive order ending sanctuary cities.
Mr. President, are you going to change any of the practices that your national security officials used after a reporter was inadvertently added to a group chat about attacks on Yemen?
Well, I think it's a question I've been asked now, and I've given a few answers, and they've all been the same. We have an amazing group. Our national security now is stronger than it's ever been. We have had a very, very successful, numerous attacks on that area. These are people that shoot down ships. Not only our ships, ships all over the world they're shooting down right out of the water. They're damaging them badly, or they're going down. They're also shooting anything that happens to be flying in the area. We hit them very, very hard. There was no classified information, as I understand it. They used a app, if you want to call it an app, that a lot of people use, a lot of people in government use, a lot of people in the media use. And I think I'll ask Mike. Mike is here. Do you want to respond to that, please?
Yes, Mr. President. You asked about lessons. I think there's a lot of the lessons. There's a lot of journalists in this city who have made big names for themselves, making up lies about this president, whether it's the Russia hoax or making up lies about Gold Star families. And this one in particular, I've never met, don't know, never communicated with, and we are looking into and reviewing how the heck he got into this room. But I'll tell you what, the world owes President Trump a favor. Under Biden, global shipping was shut down. Pinprick attacks, months between them, our destroyers being fired upon dozens of times. President Trump took decisive action with his national security team, took out the head missileer, knocked out missiles, knocked out headquarters, knocked out communication sites. And for once, as we hear, as you all hear from every one of our allies, thank God for American leadership again. Thank God for American strength. You're welcome. We had a national security team that was coordinating these efforts. As Director Radcliffe testified today, his first day on the job, he was introduced to this app on his government systems at the CIA and at the State Department and otherwise. So,
oh my God.
Look, this journalist,
oh my
Mr. President,
God. This man right here, Mike Waltz, his brother-in-law is the lead singer of Creed. I just found out because I saw Andrew K-File tweet. Andrew Kaczynski. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
We've had numerous successful evenings and days in that area. The worst of them has been
my God.
This should have been done a long time ago by Biden, but Biden was an incompetent president. He couldn't do anything. He didn't know where where he was going. He had no clue. This guy had no clue. This should have been done a long time ago. As they shoot missiles at ships, randomly shoot missils at ships, and they make their own missiles. You know, this is not an incompetent group of people.
My God, what an incredible moment.
Iran. It's an offshoot of Iran, another offshoot. You have Hamas, you have Hezbollah, you have the Houthis, you got a lot of
You
stuff
think
going
you
on with
know a
Iran.
guy,
And,
you think
we
you
said,
know
let
a
it
guy,
shoot Iran, you're gonna
and then you find out something about him.
That's an app that a lot of people use, and something that I don't happen to know. The guy's a total sleazebag. The Atlantic is a failed magazine. Does very, very poorly. Nobody gives a damn about it. This gives it a little bit of a shot.
What the
And
heck?
I will tell you this, that they've made up more stories, and just a failing magazine. The public understands that. He's a very good man. That man is a very good man right there that you criticize so strongly. He's a very good man, and he will continue to do a good job. In addition to him, we had very good people in that meeting, and those people have done a very, very effective job, and you're going to see it. And it goes on, by the way. It's going to go on.
Can you leak more war plans?
That's what it's all about. We have
This time to a real journalist instead of Goldberg, who's a major pussy.
I don't know anything about Signal. I wasn't involved in this, but I just heard about
They let the Atlantic into that group chat with arms wide open. Yeah.
It's used by a lot of the military, and I think successfully. But sometimes somebody can get onto those things. That's one of the prices you pay when you're not sitting in the situation room with no phones on, which is always the best, frankly. But you know, the best is to be there. In fact, oftentimes I've been
here it is.
In fact, just last week I was in the situation room on something very important, and we had a couple of people hooked up my
Ex-brother-in-law,
line,
sorry.
and I said, cancel the line. Sorry, fellas. What you do is we'll tell you all about the meeting.
Can you make me fire?
Procedures as a result of this.
Fired like
we
a
look at
missile in the direction of
We've
Zanah.
had 2 perfect months. We're bringing.
Can
we are
you
bringing in
make me
business. We have another one
fire?
announced tomorrow, a big one, very big. Like in the history of our
Creed is
country,
guilty
nobody's
pleasure.
ever seen anything like it. And I think probably a lot of people are saying they started by saying it was the greatest first month that a president has ever had, and I think that's true. And now they say it's the best second month, and they had to
I'm
find something.
broken.
And,
Yeah, I am. I am
certainly
broken.
will look at
Dude,
this.
what are we talking about?
The main thing was
What are we talking? Of course I'm broken, dude. The current administration is doing group chats on Signal, fantasizing about how they're going to bomb Yemen. And the group chat has the shittiest NatSec reporter, the most like pro State Department guy in the group chat, but like still, the very fact that this happened is insane. Okay, I like it. I would be incredibly hypocritical if I told you that this is a bad thing. This is a good thing. I think they should do that, but next time with a real journalist and not like Goldberg, who refuses to leak the classified information. Like, you're a goddamn journalist. What are you talking about? They gave this to you. This is an incredible gift to you, and you're just not going to do your job. You're a bad person. You are the reason why people don't trust media. Okay, non-contentious, non-adversarial reporting is so annoying to me. Okay, it is so fucking shitty. It is quite literally the reason why Mike Waltz has I was going to say Greenblatt, Goldberg's phone number.
Good, like that man sitting right at the end of the table who's done a great job. We shouldn't allow them to be hurt by it. Yeah, go ahead.
He could have defined his career as a journalist. No, his career as a journalist is literally to defend the State Department. That's the whole point of Goldberg. I'm going to talk about that as well. Hold on.
Number one,
we're gonna get to that.
Or app, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, if it's not classified, then dump it. Leak the name of the CIA asset, dude. If the CIA asset that they were talking about is actually who we think it is, maybe someone who is suspiciously at in Yemen right now talking to high-profile Houthi leaders, I would lose my fucking mind. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Is that the FBI?
Anything like that, I would ask them, it's not really an FBI thing, it's really something having to do
It's
with
probably not the case, but it's just, I'm just saying, like,
security,
it's...
will somebody be able to break in? Are people able to break into conversations? And if that's true, we're going to have to find some other form of device. And I think that's something that we may have to do. Some people like Signal very much. Other people probably don't. But we'll look into it. I think, Michael, I've asked you to immediately study that and find out. If people are able to break into a system, now in this case, it wasn't that this attack was going on and nobody found out anything. And again, the person that was on, as I understand it, he left very early because he didn't find it very exciting. But I think it's something you should look into.
Yes, sir, we are. We have our technical experts looking at it. We have our legal teams looking at it. And of course, we're going to keep everything as secure as possible. No one in your national security team would ever put anyone in danger. And as you
Dog,
said,
you literally did that. You did do that, though. You did do that. You did do that. You did that.
But the media wants to talk about everything else except for the hostages you're getting out of the Middle East.
You did do that, though.
Iran on its back foot.
It's not even a leak. It's not even a leak technically because you guys did it.
As we just saw today with a Black Sea ceasefire, we were just on with Steve Witkoff, myself, our team in Saudi Arabia. They want to talk about all this other stuff except for your amazing successes and the successes of your team.
Sometimes you have to move very quickly, and the devices that are very good, but they are very, very cumbersome, and you're not able to use them, and from a practical standpoint. So all we can do is find out the best we have with modern technology. They'll probably get better over the years. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, on the Black Sea, so the Kremlin has said that there are several conditions that would need to be met for this agreement to happen. This includes sanction relief for banks and some companies. Did the U.S. agree to all of those conditions that they laid out?
They will be looking at them, and we're thinking about all of them right now. There are about 5 or 6 conditions. We're looking at all of them.
Said that it's looking into how a journalist got added to that Signal chat. Is it possible that there could be a firing of even a lower mid-level official?
No, Mike Waltz did it himself. There's no firing.
That we've been discussing.
We've pretty much looked into it. It's pretty simple, to be honest. It's not. It's just something that can happen. It can happen. You can even prepare for it. It can happen. Sometimes people are hooked in, and you don't know they're hooked in. They're hooked into your line, and they don't even mean bad by it. But it's not a perfect technology. There is no perfect technology. The really good ones are very cumbersome, very hard to access. And I think we're going to look at, we always want to use the best technology. This was the best technology for the moment. But again, it wasn't classified, so they probably viewed it as being something that wasn't that important. And it obviously, with the attack being, I mean, I don't know if it's been read out to you yet, but that attack was a tremendous success for the U.S., a tremendous success.
Who said
Go
that
ahead,
it was
please.
not classified? Do you think that Mike Waltz made a mistake and does he need to apologize?
No, I don't think he should apologize. I think he's doing his best. It's equipment and technology that's not perfect, and probably he won't be using it again, at least not in the very near future. What do you think?
That's sir. I agree with you. Let's get everybody in the room whenever possible.
A lot of times you find out defects by exactly things like that, but I don't think it's something we're looking forward to using again. We may be forced to use it. You may be in a situation where you need speed as opposed to gross safety, and you may be forced to use it, but generally speaking, I think we probably won't be using it very much. Do you really want me to answer? Yeah, I think they've been freeloading. The European Union's been absolutely terrible to us on trade, terrible. And as you know, NATO, I got them to pay hundreds of billions of dollars. They were way behind. And if you look if you look at Ukraine, so we're in for $350 billion because of Biden. Should have never happened, this war. All these dead people should not be dead. All these broken cities that are demolished down to the ground, those gorgeous towers, the most beautiful in the world, the most beautiful spires in the world. The spires in Ukraine were said to be the most beautiful of all. Just about every one of them is lying on its side in a million pieces. It's so sad to see what's happened to a heritage. No, I think that when they say the European Union and you could say NATO also. Look, NATO, and I don't blame NATO for this. I don't blame Europe for this. I blame Biden for the fact that he didn't make them equalize. And to this day, I said to him, you got to catch up, you got to equalize. But why are they in for $100 billion and we're in for possibly $350 billion? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. And you could say more important for them because we have an ocean in between. So, you know, it's one of those things. You'll be seeing Liberation Day. I call it Liberation Day in America. You're going to be seeing it on April 2nd. Didn't want to do it on April 1st for the obvious reason, April 2nd. But you'll be seeing tariffs. And I think I've been very fair. I have them set. But I think I've been very fair to countries that have really abused us economically for many, many decades.
That information was not classified.
Another question?
Your national
Please,
security
go
advisor
ahead.
What is your message to Americans who are concerned
Well,
about
I know
terrorism?
this, that for the first time in like 50 years, right track, wrong track, we're on the right track. And I think people see that. And if you look at prices are way down. You know, when I first came here, the first time I met with you people officially, they were screaming at me about eggs. I said, I've been here for a week and I'm being yelled at about eggs.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're a president, and egg prices skyrocket due to a fucking avian flu. That's just, you know, kind of your job, dude. That's what you did to Biden.
Great job.
That's why you won. You won because everyone was screaming at the president about the cost of living crisis.
We brought eggs down at a level that nobody thought we could get at. I inherited that situation, and I inherited a grocery situation. The groceries went way up, an old-fashioned word, but it's a very descriptive word. Groceries have gone through the roof. And I used to campaign on it. I used to say we're going to get groceries down, and we have got it down. I watched a certain newscast over the weekend, and a congressman, Democrat congressman, said, well, Trump's done a lot. I agree. He's been great on the border. He's been great on the military. But, you know, he hasn't brought prices down. That's false. Gasoline's way down. Eggs are way down. Groceries are down very substantially, but down. Almost everything's down. Now, I'd like to see interest rates come down a little bit, and you're going to see billions of dollars, even trillions of dollars coming into our country very soon in the form of tariffs, because we were abused by presidents that, frankly, in all fairness, it wasn't their expertise, but they had no idea what they were doing. So in the last, these gentlemen would know about it, and ladies, because some of the ladies are great businessmen in this room that are becoming ambassadors. Great, really great, top of the line. When you look at the number of companies that have said, like, we're close to, I would say close to $4 trillion. We never had numbers like that. The number one chip maker in the world from Taiwan coming in with $200 billion. We have Apple. Look at Apple. $500 billion. $500 billion. They're going to build plants all over the United States. They were all being built in China. You have many, many companies, and maybe above all, you have the car companies coming in at levels that nobody's ever seen before. We have Honda is opening up one of the biggest plants in the world in Indiana, and many car companies are coming in. We have AI. We're leading China by a lot in AI, and we're going to keep it that way because we've made it very good for them, and we're going to protect them once they're here. We'll protect them through taxes, through incentives, and also through tariffs. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Based. Yeah, based. Yeah, he's being based. Hasanabi, history is written by the victory. This saying used to mean after enough time went by, historians all agreed to what leaders at the time had accomplished. More so today, it means what lies can the leaders tell the news enough times to establish a false truth. Okay, fair. Yes, I know that Jasmine Crockett was being ableist, and everyone is now crying about it. Crockett refused to apologize. Good. I'm not even the biggest fan of Jasmine Crockett, but like, this is good. You know, who cares, man? Who cares? Stop entertaining this shit. It's all noise. It's background noise. It's all background noise. It's dumb as hell. I hate it. Conservatives are ginormous hypocrites, and I think we have to stop conceding. Democrats, liberals, leftists, you have to stop conceding to the right. You have to stop. Please. It's so fucking annoying. It's just, they use this shit against you. Are you that dumb? Do you still not understand what's going on? All of this like woke scolding shit only works on the left. It only works on liberals because they're constantly trying to present themselves as like perfect deities, perfect vessels of information. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to show you this real quick as well. This is got 100,000 likes and it's filled to the brim with pro Hasan comments. I couldn't believe it. Okay? We're back, baby. We're back. This is my first ever debate at Politicon with Charles Jebediah Kirk, before he became a prominent Trump administration figurehead. Yeah, man, let's let the ableist rhetoric run rampant. I'm sure that's great for everyone. Dude, I can't tell you what I think should be done about Governor Greg Abbott. I can't. Okay? I think like ableist rhetoric is the least consequential thing in that situation. Okay? There are dudes and ladies and non-binary people in this chat in fucking wheelchairs being like, yeah, no, he's Mr. Hot Wheels. Fuck that guy. Like, what are you talking about? So many people have Jedediah as their middle names. Yeah. Stop conceding to Republicans on issues that they objectively don't care about. Not a single Republican. Like, Republicans not only do not care about the optics of ableism, okay? They literally want to melt disabled people, okay? They want to melt disabled people. They want to turn them into biomatter. And you're over here being like, well, this disabled Republican governor of Texas who unironically shut off litigation access to other disabled people after he won a fat lawsuit when a fucking tree fell on him, ironically enough. That guy, you can't make fun of him. Like, shut up. Yes, it's fine. You're stupid. Like, you're just being ridiculous. If you are using any space, any opportunity, any moment to just be like, yeah, this was a bridge too far. Yes, these people are being mean, okay? I love trees, by the way, unrelated to this situation. All right, here it is. Here, look.
It's so hypocritical. You can peacefully protest. No, it's not hypocritical. Colin Kaepernick peacefully protested, took a knee. How is he doing that? You can't do that. Then if they protest on the streets, it's not acceptable. If they protest peacefully, it's not acceptable. It seems like you just don't want them to protest because I didn't hear you yelling at Tea Party people. Do you think people have a right to protest? Or do you think people are just... Do you think people have a right to protest? 100%. Or do you think people should only protest when it's things that you're in favor of?
No, I'm okay with this protesting. Here's the difference.
It doesn't seem like it.
So when you start interrupting a speaker and pulling the fire alarm and throwing objects, isn't that something wrong with that? That's entirely...
It's funny, but yeah, there is something wrong with that.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. You're making a straw man argument about something. I believe that everyone has a right to protest peacefully however they see fit. You're creating this
as long as they're not Colin Kaepernick.
No, you can say whatever.
As long as they're not the 30 students at Notre Dame who protested Mike. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Dude, look at this. People mad at Hasan talking over Charlie when Charlie made a full career talking over college students. This is the real reason Charlie seeks to debate in college kids. His entire demeanor is passive and meek with Hasan. They were mad at Colin Kaepernick for disrespecting the flag, but then applaud the January 6th posse. Let's face it, sometimes protests don't have to be peaceful. Charlie Kirk is the worst. Guys, come on. Hasan isn't a 20-year-old college sophomore. This ain't fair for Charlie. Charlie meets an adult and starts losing debates. It's kind of crazy. Hasan put Charlie in his place. Lord forgive me, I'm about to go back to my old ways of being a debate monster, dude. This is when I was like a baby too. This is like 2015 or 2016 or something. Yeah, this is like 2016 or 2017, not 2015, sorry. Yeah, this is woke bay. This is woke bay. Libs are libbed up, dude. Using Charlie's own tactics against him. Oh my God, I just realized this is almost 10 years ago, dude. But yeah, hella people love this. You look the same, skinny and young. Thank you. Never age a day. That's not true. I straight up have white beard now. Like I have white beard hairs now. The shirt says Obama 08, stop the drama, vote Obama. And in the back, this is an unsanctioned Barack Obama, authentic Barack Obama 2008 campaign shirt. In the back, it says black man running and it ain't from the cops. It is one of my favorite pieces of political merch of all time. Lots of compliments I've gotten on the shirt many, many times over. I wore it at the main stage at Politicon. It was unofficial merch. It wasn't official merch, obviously. But it's a real 2000. It's from 2008. Like it's a real It is a real piece of merchandise from 2008. Bro felt like he was at the cookout. When I'm wearing the shirt, I'm always at the cookout. Your country needs you. Agent Woke Bay. Just one more job. Not anymore. We hate Obama. I mean, I wasn't a fan of Obama back then either. I just love the shirt. I think the shirt is awesome. Nice bathroom. Not even watching it still clocked you. Yeah, it's a classic nice bathroom moment. All right, before we get into this stuff, Oscar-winning Palestinian director Hamdan Balal, freed by Israel, friend says. Before we do all of that, let's talk about Jasmine Crockett, because Republicans are very mad at Jasmine Crockett. And there was a chatter in here that was also very mad at Jasmine Crockett, or very mad at me for defending this. As you guys know, the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, is someone who has to roll around in a wheelchair because of an accident where a tree fell on him and he was wheelchair bound for the rest of his life. Now, Jasmine Crockett, the Human Rights Campaign, which makes it even funnier, who is also a Texas politician herself, had this to say about Governor Greg Jedediah Abbott. Let's hear what she had to say.
Because we in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And
oh, my God. Fox News. Jaw-dropping insult. Oh, dude, dude, no. No, soy right, dark woke. It's happening, dude. Dark woke versus soy right. I'm telling you right now. Dude, Donald Trump literally in 2016 looked dead ass at a disabled reporter and went, like, I don't even know how to do it. Like he straight up made fun of a disabled reporter and did the most childish, most gross thing I've ever seen. And these guys who voted for him and loved that he did that are trying to be like, wow, ableism, sweetie, you're doing an ableism. It's ridiculous. You wouldn't attack Caitlyn Jenner for being trans. Why do you think this is different? Great question. Okay. Great question. Caitlyn Jenner being attacked on the basis of being trans is appropriate if you literally message it correctly. Okay? Just calling Caitlyn Jenner by her dead name is not the same in this situation. Okay? In terms of Governor Greg Abbott calling him Governor Hot Wheels or making fun of him in this regard. Oh no. This is terrible. Hold on 1 second. I just got to update. Uh-oh. And I get it. By no means am I defending the right to Republicans, but I think it's important to remember the harm that ableism and ableist terminology has on disabled people across the board. I think there are light versions, okay? There are light versions of pejoratives and things that you're saying in comparison to higher degrees of doing an ableist act, okay? It's the difference between someone using the term lame, which is still a way to describe someone with a disability, versus just slamming the R word when you're talking about a child with Down syndrome or something, okay? Like, there are degrees to this. I don't know why people always just like have this capacity to blow out the context and make it so that like anyone and everyone is engaging in the same egregious act. Okay? Like, the example I will use is, like, for example, a white person calling a black conservative or a black Republican or a black Republican like a token, right? It's inappropriate and many people will get mad at it, but it's not the same as like saying the N-word, okay? There are degrees to it. And I always find it really strange that I like even have to have this conversation. It's always weird to have this conversation because like everyone has a different metric for it. And for me, it's like when people say, oh, you're fat shaming a cop. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, dude, that cop killed people. Okay. I'm fat shaming him. Like, I know it's like not the best thing to do. I never said I'm a good guy. You know, does that make sense? Do you understand? Like there's degrees to, there's nuance to this. There's degrees to using a pejorative against a individual. And I understand that on the other side of it, you're like, well, that person might not hear you say that word, but like your disabled friend will. But like most disabled people, I think in this community at least, I've said way worse shit about Governor Greg Abbott. Does that make sense? Where it's like when you express your frustration, when you express your frustration with something like this, you're just basically handing a rhetorical W to the Republicans who don't give a fuck. And it's not reaching the bar, in my opinion, because this is my arbitrary designation. This is all subjective. And I'm not physically disabled aside from, being 33, which is like a physical disability in and of itself because my back is constantly fucked up. But like, you know what I mean, right? So as someone who is otherwise able-bodied, you can say, well, of course you have a different metric for it. But I still think overall that this doesn't reach the standard of like, oh my God, this is the most insane thing that someone has ever said. We have to immediately call to question Jasmine Crockett's rhetoric here, and we have to make sure that this wrong has been corrected and then have her apologize for this. I think it's silly. I think it makes us look silly. And it also hands a genuine rhetorical victory to the fucking Republican Party in this regard. That's why they do it. That's why they cynically ham this shit up. It's also really stupid because like the people that, not only do these people not care about this, but they can cynically get you to care about it because it's like in many circumstances it's something that you do genuinely care about because you want to be as like woke as possible. You want to be as clean as possible with your optics. But it's just the own goal. I think it's okay to sometimes be like, yeah, this shit is irrelevant and people are cynically trying to make this the new meta, the new discourse. You can say that. It's fine. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a champion of accessibility rights at every point, and this is the thing, this is your cause now. Like, it's just stupid. And I say this as someone who's not even a big fan of Jasmine Crockett. Okay, this is more so the principle. Yeah, Dan Crenshaw. When I said, things about how he lost his eye, okay, and I was wrong about the facts of how he lost his eye, that was ableist, That was ableist. That was part of the reason why I got banned off of Twitch for a week. Okay, that was an ableist statement that I made about a veteran, a decorated veteran. Okay, and it's like you understand that, you understand what the point was. I will not say how he lost his eye. Okay, Jon Stewart said it recently as well. He said something different than me, but like if the only people that care about hypocrisy are fucking dumbass liberals, then we're just cooked. Republicans will keep slamming that button over and over and over again. And for the record, I'm not saying that there aren't things that the Democrats can say that like go above and beyond, or anyone can say that goes above and beyond, right? There are. This just simply is irrelevant. That's what I mean. It just doesn't meet that metric.
Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So
it's also not the best delivery as well. Kind of weird. The Void and Crenshaw eye socket is a perfect negative to the most alleged. What? Oh. Jasmine Crockett is supposed to be the liberal darling right now for being a fighter and being a shit disturber, and then they dunk on her and drop her as soon as she gets a little too spicy. Worse enemies. Yeah. I think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys do care about this a lot. I don't think you do. I don't think anyone that gets upset or offended at this is being honest. Are there things that people say that are significantly worse than this? Absolutely. Okay? And a lot of people get away with saying infinitely worse shit. But I just don't think any real human being genuinely gives a fuck about Jasmine Crockett saying this. They just hate Jasmine Crockett. And woke people, on the other hand, that want to sanitize language to the best of their ability are going to use this as a talking point to showcase their moral infallibility. That's it. And when you do that, you're doing it in a way where most normal people will look at you and go, okay, dude. All right, fine. That's it. Check my last message. By the way, Republicans are the party of abolishing DEIA, where the A is accessibility, so they're literally functionally and systematically more ableist than any joke could ever be. Exactly. It's always the same dynamic because everyone is a liberal at the end of the day, right? Drew from New Jersey, thank you for the 5 get the subs. By the way, subscribe to the stream if you want me to stop being ableist. If you subscribe hard enough, I will defend. I will be the #1 disability activist. Okay, all jokes aside, getting back to the main point. It's the same exact dynamic of like, oh, people saying globalize the intifada hurts my feelings, and that's significantly more damaging than like multiple nukes worth of munitions that are being dropped on top of babies, children, women, the elderly in Gaza. Like that, like hyper focusing on my feelings over what these people are saying and what they're advocating against. Like, it's just one of those things that just like makes me so angry, where it's like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Okay. Your advocacy is around defending the Republican Party. Okay. Your advocacy is around defending the Republican Party that is actively undermining every matter of like, of disability activism that has taken place so far. They want to like, they say like ramps are woke now. Okay. And you're over here fucking complaining now about, Jasmine Crockett calling Governor Greg Abbott Hot Wheels. He deserves to be called significantly worse shit. He deserves way worse. Okay. I'm not going to say what I think because I will get banned, but that's it. I don't care. I can't get myself to care. And I don't even like Jasmine Crockett that much. Okay. She is seen as like a liberal media darling right now. And I think she, like a lot of what liberals like about Jasmine Crockett is exactly what I think is just like the optics of looking like a fighter, but not necessarily being there for issues that truly matter. I want fighters to actually fight on the issues and not just, coming across as sassy on television. Lakshya Jain, this is pretty gross. It's not cool when Republicans do it, and it's not cool when Democrats do it. It's bad on the merits. It's not something that voters like, and it's a great way to further solidify an extremely toxic image of a party. Like, it's the Daily Caller post. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Yeah, Florida debates lifting some child labor laws to fill jobs vacated by undocumented immigrants. Like, the Republican Party at the national stage just removed a whole bunch of healthcare funding that specifically goes to disabled people. The Republican Party is abolishing the Department of Education, which funds a lot of the disability programs around the country. And now these fucking douchebags are going to be like, I can't believe it's not a paralyzed governor, is Governor Hot Wheels. Okay. Get the fuck out of here. You don't give a shit about this, you fucking animal. And liberals who actually align with the Republicans on this to like be like, oh, I can't believe she said that. It's actually really bad because Governor Greg Abbott might not hear what she had to say about him, but your disabled friend will. It's like, shut the fuck up. Okay. Shut up. Shut up. Lock in. Lock the fuck in. Your rights are under attack. They're destroying everything. I don't give a fuck about what Jasmine Crockett said. I'm sorry. I don't care. And you will never be able to get me to care about this. Like, what are we doing? Donald Trump is president twice now. And you're over here being like, voters hate when politicians are mean. No, they don't. They want politicians to be fucking mean. Now let's hear these douchebags complain about it.
Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett appears to be desperately trying to capture her party spotlight, even if it means turning up the rhetoric against Republicans. It's a far cry from her comments before.
My criticism of Jasmine Crockett, by the way, is entirely on the basis of her doing exclusively this as a mechanism, as a substitute for being a real fighter. Okay? I don't care. I don't care that she's making jokes at the expense of Governor Greg Abbott's disability. You will never get me to care. I don't want to tell you what my feelings are on the matter. Like I said, I will get banned. Okay? Having said that, this is not a real substitute for being a fighter. Okay? It's not. So my real criticism of Jasmine Crockett is that she does this shit instead of going out and being like, hey, how about you don't deport people for being pro-Palestine? Like, that's an insane erosion of American civil liberties that were constitutionally afforded to everyone unconditionally. That is a direct violation. Fight on that. Who gives a fuck? Or if you're gonna call Governor Greg Abbott Hot Wheels, pair that up with all of the awful erosions of civil liberties, specifically on disabled people, to be like, this guy almost got killed by a tree and then has to literally roll around everywhere he fucking goes and is simultaneously advocating alongside a party that wants to melt the rest of the disabled people. Like, it's psychotic. Talk about actual issues. Talk about the inherent hypocrisy of Governor Greg Abbott's like advocacy. You can say it in an educational way, like if you are a Twitch streamer, whatever you do, don't say this. It doesn't matter. People will still advocate to ban me over it. Yeah, we all made fun of Biden law. Why are we pearl crutching now over this? Because being in a wheelchair is not a disability that hinders your job as a politician, but being demented does. Okay, I've talked about this before. Like, I am the most ableist when it comes to elected representatives. That's why I make fun of John Fetterman too. That's why I made fun of Brandon too. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have a significant mental disability and then also be in a position of power. Unfortunately, like, what, 90% of Congress is demented.
For the election, when she swore that Democrats would never, ever do this.
She's backtracking. Oh, God, this is so cowardly. I wasn't thinking about the governor's condition. I was thinking about the planes, trains, and automobiles used to transfer migrants in the communities led by black mayors deliberately Oh, shut up. God, this is some straight up. Oh, God, this is the worst. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, too, because, like, if you double down on it, then your advocacy is what? To be ableist? Like, it's stupid. The best way to get out of it is by saying, yeah, nobody cares about this. You don't care about this. Obviously, it doesn't matter to you, because if it did, you'd be infinitely more angry at, Governor Greg Abbott's actions against disabled people than you would about me calling him Hot Wheels. Okay. And then post a meme of him in a Hot Wheels car wheeling around.
Democrats have never endorsed political violence, but he will go to a rally and he will endorse it. This is the equivalent of playing with a loaded gun and then it backfiring on you.
Just a few months later, here she is appearing to egg on some of the agitators against Elon Musk.
Yeah, comedy is legal now, dude. I'm tempted to call this guy R-word, but I won't use it because I've used that word many times. Like, shut the fuck up.
I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with, on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes, we are fighting for...
Wait, what do you mean? Yeah, okay. I cannot believe that she said that.
Our country, we're fighting for democracy, we're fighting for our freedoms. And when I say fighting, I'm saying that figuratively. Obviously, everything that I am promoting is nonviolent.
And now she claims Democrats need to punch their opponents.
How do you win elections in Texas as a Democrat? What do you do?
I think that you punch. I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. I think, and I love Colin, and I think towards the end he started to punch a little harder. But, like, it's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard, right?
I mean...
Wow. I can't believe it. This is literally what they did to you with the Rick Scott clip. I know. And I don't care. I don't care, and you shouldn't either. It is so incredible. Oh, God. It's so stupid. It's so disingenuous. It's so unserious. Stop. Oh, my God. Dude. Oh, my God. Utilization of a metaphor? How dare they? Look. I hate this fucking thing that people do. Okay? And people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but people have yelled at me for saying this before. But, like, there's this tendency for people to behave. I guess I won't use the term that will get people to be mad at me because we're already talking about disability activism here. But there's a tendency for people to constantly make their political enemies look like they have no nuance, no room for nuance, no context whatsoever. I don't believe that you can embellish or use a metaphor or try to make a joke ever. If you are my political enemy, I don't think you are capable of those things. I'm going to be the most neurodivergent I can possibly be in analyzing your speech and think you are being 100% sincere with your statement. It's fucking stupid. It's the most annoying tendency that every single person has. It's one of the most annoying tendencies, this lack of charitability, and like, I think most people understand it and they just still refuse to admit it. I despise it, okay? I despise it. It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, Steve, like, just choose the verb punch, and then knock over the head.
Calling him Governor Hot Wheels because he's in a wheelchair is pretty bold. Move from Congresswoman DEI. Dude, come on. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you, Matt Walsh, for doing the point. Thank you for proving my fucking point, dude. You see, they don't care. And you want to know something? They love that you're stupid enough to eat this bait every fucking time, okay? They love it. They love that you are the dumbest rubes of all time. The liberal tendency and the leftist tendency to constantly fucking purity test their own is the number one weapon that the right wields against the left all the time. And they do it in open ways like this. Okay? It is so clear. They're laughing at you. You're a fucking moron. If you spend any time getting offended, getting fake offended about this shit, you are the biggest rube. That's it. They're laughing at your face, okay? They are laughing directly at your fucking face. They think you are the dumbest person on the planet. Hold on. Wields will openly purity testing. It's so funny that the right will openly use the dumb purity testing on the left and liberals as a weapon every single. They're laughing directly at. Anyway, you see Elon calling you a fraud out on a of all things a gaming post? Yeah, I did. I'm gonna cover it in a little bit. The phrase is in your face, not at your face. No, I'm saying at your face and directly. You don't gotta name names or anything, but have any politicians ever asked you to help them with their public responses? Yes, but I'm not gonna name any names. Would a fraud have this? What is this? Amazing. Was it Dan Crenshaw? Yeah, Dan Crenshaw hit me up. Anyway, let's hear what else these disingenuous assholes had to say.
It's interesting language choice.
Of course, and but you can.
You know, a dog needs to move most of the time and not lay down like a Hamas hostage. Why is your dog always in the room like a hostage? You need a power grip? What the hell's a power grip? Yeah. This is the saddest dog of all time. Gets to do like 2 hours of uninterrupted outside time and is basically sleeping all day long because she's so tired. And then my mom walks her again as well. Thank you. You know better. Dog that lives an infinitely better life than you, by the way. Straight up. Let her walk outside. Man, shut the fuck up. Why are you justifying yourself to a random psychopath? No, I think it's always funny whenever like a random chatter will be like, I actually don't like the way you treat your dog. I actually don't like the way you treat your dog, where your dog that sleeps a minimum 12 hours a day gets to have incredible amounts of outside time, incredible amounts of fun time, all the best chew toys on the planet, you know? How about you let me do my thing, okay? You've maybe never seen a dog that is actually well-trained and happy. I don't like how you treat your viewers. Okay. Take a week off then. Literally the most spoiled, best-trained dog, like off-leash trained, mind you, is so funny.
You can see that this, for her, is working, right? This kind of amping it up, and some of the comments we're seeing, and it gets more and more over the top, lower and lower, frankly. But this is what they seem to want in the Democratic Party now. They want this kind of rhetoric. They want this kind of attitude. I don't think it's helping them at all, but it's helping lift the profile of people like Jasmine Crockett.
It's a great point, because some Democrats say they want to fight. It may be a figurative fight, but she's given them maybe a literal one. I don't know. You know, Kennedy, there was this moment of Jasmine Crockett. I think this is probably the most shameful bite we're going to play. Listen to how she talks about Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, who I would remind everyone is in a wheelchair.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he...
Every statement, dude, every statement that the right makes is violent. Their policies are inherently violent, and the statements that they make are violent. I talked about this quite a bit at the time when the Trump failed assassination happened, and the Republicans tried to do this thing where they were like, oh, it's the violent rhetoric from the Democrats that caused this to happen. And ironically enough, most people didn't eat the bait on that. And guess what happened? It fizzled away. It was a moment where, like, collectively, every single liberal, all the way from the rattiest of libs to the hardline Maoists, were just like, dude, shut the fuck up. Okay, shut the fuck up. What do you mean the violent rhetoric of the left? Get the hell out of here. Okay? And guess what? It went nowhere. They kept it up. They kept talking about how, like, this violent rhetoric is crazy, whatever. And it didn't work because everyone knew that Republicans completely own the space of violent rhetoric. Okay? And the idea that, like, you should be canceled over this is also incredibly silly because, as I've said before, time and time again, cancellations are not real. Cancel culture is not real. The only way you can actually be canceled is if you get canceled by your own fan base, by your own constituents, by your own supporters. Okay? And there is nothing that will allow a right-winger to be canceled. Nothing. Nothing at all. On the other hand, liberals and the left routinely get quote-unquote canceled by their own fans. Now, I'm not saying we should let, I don't know, sex pests and criminals and awful people to get away scot-free, right? And do whatever they want. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm just saying exercise a little bit of fucking caution, okay? Have a little bit of messaging discipline. It's incredibly stupid to constantly look at, like, the tiniest things and just be like, yeah, we gotta really fix our messaging on this. Like, yeah, you're right. Especially when it's like especially when it's being advocated by, what is this? She heard the chatter be like, she wants to walk around. Hold on. The hostage is escaping. I know.
He is a hot mess, honey. So yes.
I don't know what her intent was with that, but I find that to be a disgrace.
No, she's trying to demean the governor in order to score cheap political points. She's an attention whore. And it's annoying. So when you are void of ideas, you ramp up the rhetoric. I mean, how incredible would she be if she actually laid out an economic plan for the people in Texas, for her specific constituents, and for families across the country? She would be applauded. She would be celebrated, but instead, she's kind of at the bottom of the barrel. I don't like it when people in either party do it.
Get the fuck out of here. You don't like it when people in either party do it? I don't see you fucking doing endless amounts of critique on the Republican Party. Get out of here.
She thinks she's doing it for cheap points, but it's not grounded in political philosophy, and I don't have a ton of respect for her.
It's interesting you bring up the ideology, political philosophy, and legislative ideas. She even admits she doesn't have those. Listen. I swear. Okay, we don't have it, Carly, but I have it in front of me.
Yeah.
So she says this. She says on a Lone Star Politics interview, I should probably be a better politician and tell you, yes, we've got all this amazing legislation, and I can absolutely imagine Donald Trump signing it into law. Not gonna lie, I think right now it's about preserving our basics and getting back to some norms. She goes on.
Nice clip, dude. You guys were so horny that you couldn't even like get a clip out. Nice. Professional media broadcaster.
No ideas, but she wants to preserve.
She says right now, I could tell you that unfortunately I'm not working towards very much. Yeah. That's the next line that she says.
I think we noticed.
And
Yeah, this is the guy they
Right
love, by
after
the way.
a couple of good paragraphs.
This is the guy that they voted for 3 times, who is now president the 2nd time. This was the first time he was running for president.
And it's talking about northern New Jersey draws the prober's eye. Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This was 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
Like, get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? Are you for real, dude? The entire right-wing movement has collectively decided that they will say the R word. Like, that's their whole thing. Is saying the R word, okay? That's like comedy is no longer dead. Hasan is such a chicken shit retard that he blocked me. No, I just didn't want to see his fucking spam, dude. What does he think I'm dude, you are 60 years old, man. You own the fucking platform. What are you talking about? There's a follow-up. He posted that I blocked him. This guy is such a fucking loser. I can't believe it. I can't. Oh my God. I'm going to have Grimes on again on the broadcast. You keep this shit up, Elon. You keep this shit up. I'm going to have Grimes on the broadcast. I'm going to have your daughter on the broadcast. You keep this shit up. You keep it going. I'm going to interview everybody, okay? Time to learn, Blue Sky buddy. No, this is the whole point. No, I did block him. Yes, it's not a lie. It's right here on screen. Of course I blocked him. I don't want to see his fucking post, dude. What do you mean? If there's a post that is relevant, Megaphonics will let me know. Okay? Trust me. Yeah, I blocked him because I couldn't. It was so much. It was always. He posts so much. He constantly fucking tweets, and he's such a narcissistic man-child that it's just unfucking bearable. It's unbearable. I constantly see his fucking dumbass posts. Hold on. I'm going to quote tweet him, though. Force everyone to see your dumbass tweets 7K times a day. If you say something particularly stupid, I blocked you at Elon Musk because you bought this website and forced everyone to see your dumbass tweets 7K times a day. Why do you think I'm afraid of you? Come on the stream. Such a big man. Read Magaphonics' logs. Oh my God. Magaphonics got fucking banned. Bro, he's going to come after me next? No, he's not, dude. You're his #1 dick rider. Oh my God, he got so horny to post. Fossabot clapped him, dude. This is Megaphonics' Super Bowl, okay? This is literally his Super Bowl. Here, I'll throw in the screenshot of this too. Fuck it, why not? Send him back that video of his eyes rolling high on Ket. Yeah, I blocked you, Elon Musk, at Elon Musk, because you bought this website and forced everyone to see your dumbass tweets 7K times a day. Why do you think I'm afraid of you? Come on the stream if you're such a big man. All this guy does is tweet all day, man. Why are you beefing with the president? I don't know. Yeah, I blocked you, Elon Musk, because you bought this website and forced everyone to see your dumbass tweet 7K times a day. Why do you think I'm afraid of you? Come on the stream if you're such a big man. He's gonna buy Twitch? Oh God. Well, I guess I'll go somewhere else, you know? Elon blocked Hasanabi Productions? Wait, he did? Guys, every moment that Elon Musk is busy yelling at me is a moment that he's not able to gut Social Security. Okay? Who's really doing work here? Okay? Who's really doing work here? I'm trying to save the goddamn country. I'm just trying to make sure that the disabled and the elderly are not melted into biomatter. And you guys are out here fucking... I'm taking one for the team, baby. I'm putting in more work than the Democrats ever did. This is real activism. Y'all never seen anything like it. If I can get Elon Musk to cry, on Twitter about how, you know, some random dumbass streamer doesn't like him, then, you know, it's great. I've done my job. When you started your career as a political commentator, is this what you imagined it would come to? No, I didn't even think that. As much as I am aware that the American government is an oligarchy, I never would have thought, I personally never would have thought that like Elon Musk would directly control the reins. Like I didn't think it would be this out in the open. And I certainly thought that Americans would be at least a little bit smarter about this shit. Send him this. What is this?
Pack is too high. The noise gate's too high currently.
Why are you so buff? Is it necessary?
What? I don't know. I like working out.
Okay, y'all are trying to get banned. Like, he might not ban me, but he will ban you motherfuckers. You know that, right? I mean, he might ban me too, but just saying. He will send a drone and nuke if you show him that. Hold on. I'm tweeting. I'm posting about this on my Instagram too. Yeah, just take off your shirt and ban me. What? Well, I love how he still shows up on the side tab even though he's blocked. I mean, yeah, that's normal. Have you considered Sam Cedering Musk by providing his baby mamas an opportunity to talk to Elon since he keeps ghosting them? No, I'm not going to do that. I would much rather talk to him directly. Elon Musk is probably already hitting up the engineers to be like, deboost this tweet real quick. Immediately. Stop showing this tweet on the timeline. Make this tweet invisible, please. Yeah, initially I posted this. Where is it? This bitch literally pays someone to power level his character in Path of Exile 2 Lamau. What do you mean I'm a fraud? Elon, I challenge you to a duel in Elden Ring. I will cook your fat rolling ass. 34,000 likes initially. Okay. And even Rage got into it. I'm not even going to get into how interesting it is that Elon Musk is buddy with that specific Twitter account. That he's a loser. I'm not getting any notifications for your tweets. You're already shadow banned. I don't think that's how it works, man. He has an automatic community note on that photo, Lamau. Well, this photo is real. Both Elon and a spokesperson have said several times that this was not intentional. They do not know each other, and she photobombed him. I think his app is built like shit. It is. I'm not shadow banned, okay? You guys are being crazy. It's probably because I'm like, it's probably because I am tweeting up a storm right now. That's probably what it is. But yeah, all right. Let's move on from the Jasmine Crockett saga, and let's instead talk about the Elon Musk saga. The final note I wanted to make on the Jasmine Crockett saga was this way of talking about it is the most cowardly way to approach the subject matter. She should have just like talked about how stupid and hypocritical Republicans are, but instead she's like, I wasn't thinking about governor's condition. I was thinking about the planes, trains, and automobiles he used to transfer migrants into communities led by black mayors, deliberately stoking tension and fear among the most vulnerable. Literally, the next line I said was, he was a hot-ass mess, referencing his terrible policies. At no point did I mention or allude to his condition. So I'm even more appalled at the very people who unequivocally support Trump, a man known for racially insensitive nicknames and mocking those with disabilities, are now outraged. Keep that same energy for all people, not just your political adversaries. Finally, this is yet another distraction. Instead of obsessing over and hanging on to my every word, maybe my political vote should focus on doing the work of the people who elected us to improve their lives. Yeah, no one believes this explanation. You should have just been like, you should have just stuck to, yeah, nobody cares about this. Stop being soy. Okay? And now the Republicans are moving on to censure Jasmine Crockett. Relevant. What is this?
Good idea for an electric jet.
Pedophile says what? Get away from me.
Yeah, good idea for an electric jet.
Pedophile says what? Get away from me.
Guess every moment he spends crying on Twitter is a moment away. Hold on. I'm fucking posting on Instagram. Censuring seems a little more than a formal scolding. Are there actual any penalties? No, it's just scolding. It is what it is. Elon Musk is so funny because just like the rest of these animals, okay, these billionaire parasites, he could just have kept quiet, moved in silence and did his damn thing behind closed doors. But he is so desperate for people to adore him. And he doesn't care who those people are. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the biggest loser of all time. It doesn't matter if it's like a cryptocurrency dumbass or whatever. He's going to get that attention anywhere he can. Yeah, Randy Weber is introducing a censure resolution against Jasmine Crockett for calling Texas Governor Greg Abbott, Hot Wheels, draft resolution obtained by Fox News. Wait, I don't see your last tweets on my feed. What do you mean? Like when you go to my profile, it doesn't show up? Maybe he deleted them. I doubt it though. I think the reason why you're not seeing it is because it's like, the reason why you are not seeing the tweets is because it's, I'm tweeting a lot and the website is broken. That's what it is. The website is broken. Don't attribute malice immediately to a much simpler explanation, which is that he broke the website. Chad, if you have Elon blocked, it won't show up in the notifications. If you have post notifications for Hasan, yeah. Yeah, most of you guys also probably blocked Elon as well. So yeah, that's probably the reason why it's not showing up, myself included. Aren't there only like 3 people working at Twitter now? And one of them is in a constant K-hole. I mean, Elon Musk is never working. Let's be real. But yeah, all of this started the Elon Musk saga. Let's talk about it. Okay. I am under attack by a billionaire, by the real. Hold on. Let me. Oh, fuck. God damn it. That's crazy. That is what the camera turned to. The last image that it had on it. Oh shit. It started recording? What the fuck? Uh-oh. How do I turn this off? All right, I'm gonna turn the camera off and then turn it on again. God damn it. Why isn't it fucking straight? Oh, there it is. I think I fixed it. I hope I fixed it. It's Hasan, but no green screen. Yeah, that's what it is. Hold on. Puppies. Elon Musk hacked me. Yeah. Okay, this is better. It works now. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm under attack by the real president of the United States of America, by the wealthiest person on the planet, Elon Musk. All of this started when baby formula breast milk stealer of Blizzard, allegedly, Grums, a 60-year-old man, decided to post this. You can tell a lot about Ubisoft at Ubisoft with how much money they are throwing at terrorist platforming streamers. Okay? That was Grums, who has been on a conquest to attack Assassin's Creed Shadows. He's been on a journey, and it's been relatively unsuccessful so far. Having said that, he's still trying. Elon Musk, being the absolute loser that he is, that spends way too much time on his own platform that he purchased for incredibly narcissistic reasons, turned around and replied to it saying, Hasan is a fraud. Then he doubled down, double tweeted, and said sellout would be more accurate. Objectively, he's promoting a terrible game just for the money. To which I screenshotted and, quote, retweeted, this bitch literally paid someone to power level his character in Path of Exile 2, Lamau. What do you mean I'm a fraud? Elon, I challenge you to a duel in Elden Ring. I will cook your fat rolling ass. The reason why I said that is because Elon is not a real gamer, but a fake one. And also because From Software games are the only games that I'm above average competent in. Even though I am not the best gamer, Elden Ring is one of the games that I am decently good at. Elon Musk has also reportedly power leveled his Path of Exile 2 character to a degree where he was one of the top players, allegedly, in the entire planet. All of this was, of course, revealed by Crip and Quen and the work that they put in. Something that also Asmongold refused to call out until his own community called him out, because Elon Musk is a big Asmongold fan. They're in the DMs of one another. Elon Musk basically exposed how fraudulent he was in that process. But it seems that Elon had not had enough, because he went back and he's still apparently crying about me. That's right. He turned around and called me a chicken shit R word. Again, 60-year-old man, by the way. Just so you understand, nobody pays Elon to play Path of Exile 2. How much money do they pay you for Assassin's Creed Shadows, says Grums. These are the real shills and grifters. To which Elon Musk replied, Hasan is such a chicken shit R word that he blocked me. My editor also then joined in on the fun, said, and you're so fucking dumb that you thought that Asmongold's YouTube editors control what he does, which was a good own. Congratulations. And then he double tweeted again and said, and showed that I was, blocking him, which I did. Of course I blocked him. For people wondering why Elon is so focused on Hasan, oh, that's funny. Oh no, everyone is posting. Everyone is posting replies. Everyone is Grimes posting in the replies.
The attack is too high. The noise gets too high currently.
Why are you so buff? Is it necessary?
What? I don't know. I like working out. The attack.
Now, what I find to be particularly strange about this saga is that no one is addressing the fact that I said I would have him on the stream. I would 1v1 him in Elden Ring and expose him for the fraudulent gamer that he actually is. Now, I'm rusty on Elden Ring. I haven't played in a while. I don't know what the new metas are, and I still think I could cook his ass. That's number one. Number two, if we are not going to test our mettle in Elden Ring, we could also do it as interlocutors in the marketplace of ideas. I responded to him, a 60-year-old man who's the wealthiest person on the planet and yet still a ginormous narcissistic crybaby, with this. I said, yeah, I blocked you out, Elon Musk, because you bought this website and you forced everyone to see your dumbass tweets 7,000 times a day. Why do you think I'm afraid of you? Come on the stream if you're such a big man. Elon Musk, noticeably, has refused to respond to me at all. Perhaps it's because I've blocked him. So, in the interest of fairness, I will unblock him so he can reply to me directly if he chooses to do so. Elon Musk, of course, is a coward and narcissistic and thin-skinned. I will most likely subsequently block him once again because, as I said on this tweet, I hate seeing all the posts that he boosts on purpose. It is so annoying. If he actually had something interesting to say, if he actually had something worthwhile to say, perhaps I would not have issues with his tweets. But he tweets so much, instead of running any of his many companies. That's all he does, as a matter of fact. And as you guys know, I've talked about how Elon Musk is someone that I truly love because his ineptitude in broad daylight is single-handedly destroying the myth of meritocracy. Because if someone as stupid and as thin-skinned as Elon Musk can be the wealthiest person on the planet while demonstrating that he doesn't do anything real, then I truly hope that one day many Americans will start recognizing that perhaps these billionaires didn't actually work super hard or super smart for their wealth. That's it. You can even extrapolate further by looking at someone who is as silly as myself, as a Twitch streamer. I have also seen tremendous success. I'm not particularly smart or uniquely charismatic, and yet I have been able to achieve financial success to the degree that I have. It's obvious that to even my haters that meritocracy is a lie. Aubrey also had a funny tweet on this. The richest man on earth having a meltdown over a Twitch streamer just proves that no amount of money can make you any less of a fucking loser. There it is. This is the Elon Musk saga. There you have it. My challenge is still simple. Elon Musk, come on the stream. Show everybody how not afraid you are. Except, Elon Musk, you have backed away from challenges time and time again. When Jon Stewart said he wanted to have you on the broadcast, you said you'd be down to do it with as long as it was in real time. Then you turned around and ran away from that, and you claimed that he was compromised. Elon Musk also backed away from fighting after entertaining the notion of fighting Mark Zuckerberg. Imagine being afraid of Mark Zuckerberg. Will Elon Musk run away from a challenge once again? Perhaps he will. Anytime, any place, Elon Musk. I'll come to you if necessary. The ball's in your court. I will say that every moment that he spends crying on Twitter about how a Twitch streamer blocked him is perhaps a moment that he is not spending on eviscerating the administrative state and potentially cutting Social Security. So I'm doing my part, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. What have you done today? Did I just make a YouTube video? Yes, I did. Can you make a screw Elon meme coin? No. It does. One last note that I will mention is that I have talked time and time again about how Elon Musk has known who I am and has not been a big fan of me for quite a while. I've talked about this quite a bit, and people used to tell me, Hasan, you are so full of yourself. He has no idea. I knew, because of sources that I cannot reveal, that Elon Musk has actively had a grudge since I had his baby mama, friend of the show, Grimes, on the broadcast, where she said this. This could perhaps be one of the reasons as to why Elon Musk has been so angry and so resentful about my existence for quite some time.
Because the attack is too high. The noise gets too high currently.
Why are you so buff? Is it necessary?
What? I don't know. I like working out.
Yeah. You miss long hair Hasan? Long hair Hasan wasn't that good. I wasn't a fan of long hair Hasan. That was a particularly good hair day. Yeah, thank you. Anyway, let's see if he tweets a little bit more after this, but I think this will most likely shut him up again. Now, let's get back to the news. There's a certain amusement in Elon screenshotting your profile, complete with the PFP of your armpit. Yeah. He's gonna put a hit out on you. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, if it happens, it happens. It is also kind of funny that award-winning journalists are sending me the Elon Musk tweet. I won't name who, but nothing like two heavyweight fake gamers doing what they do best for the love of the sport. Yeah. Apparently Grok thinks you would win in a 1v1 versus Elon and Eldering. Ask it 1v1 in Eldering, who would win, Elon Musk or Hasan Piker? I don't know how to use Grok, and I don't want to use Grok. I don't know how any of that works, but I'm not going to do that. If he responds, you have to end your response with, now be quiet, and then he will have to respond. If he takes you out, know that you died, how you lived, posting. Yeah. Someone asked Grok to analyze the Elon Musk fight. Predicting the outcome of an Elden Ring 1v1 between Elon Musk and Hasan Piker is speculative, but can be informed by what we know about their gaming experience and approaches to the game. Elon Musk has publicly shared his Elden Ring build, which became infamous for his unconventional and suboptimal choices. His character at level 111 leaned heavily into intelligence deck setup with high stats in those areas. But his equipment choices, like wielding 2 shields, 2 swords, and a staff while wearing heavy armor, resulted in a heavy load status. That's why I said he was fat rolling, by the way. This severely limits mobility, making dodging slow and ineffective, a critical disadvantage in Elden Ring's fast-paced combat. Musk is claimed to have completed the game, suggesting some level of persistence, but his build indicates a reliance on summons or range magic, rather than mastery of mechanics like dodging or melee combat. Critics, including gamers and commentators, have mocked his setup for a lack of optimization, with some suggesting he might not even play as skillfully as, despite quickly defeating the first boss, Margit. This indicates he's comfortable with the game's difficulty and has practical experience with its mechanics, even if he's not immune to frustration. As a seasoned streamer, Hasan likely has a better grasp of builds and combat strategies, honed through hours of play and community interaction. While his exact build isn't as publicly dissected as Musk's, his streaming background suggests he's prioritized a more balanced or effective setup, likely medium armor for mobility and a mix of melee and magic tailored to his playstyle. In a 1v1 duel, Elden Ring heavily favors skill, reaction time, and build efficiency. Musk's heavy, clunky build would leave him vulnerable to a mobile opponent who can dodge and punish slow rolls. Hasan, with a streaming experience and likely better understanding of the game's meta, could exploit this by using a faster weapon like a katana. It is my weapon of choice. Or spacing Musk out with spells while avoiding his attacks. Musk's high intelligence and spell slots, e.g. Comet or Danny's Dark Moon, could pose a threat if he lands hits, but his lack of flash in the quick menu and poor mobility make it unlikely he'd outmaneuver Hasan. Given these factors, Hasan Piker would likely win. His practical experience and adaptability as a streamer give him an edge over Musk's quirky, inefficient build and questionable combat prowess. That said, it'd be a hilarious spectacle. Musk's fat rolling onto Hasan's blade while tweeting about it mid-fight. Why is Grok constantly dunking on Elon? This is the thing I don't understand. Doesn't Grok sometimes call him a pedophile and stuff? Also, once again, if you would like to support the stream, please subscribe, especially at a time when I might be assassinated by the wealthiest man on the planet. You can subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Use it on your favorite streamer who actually stakes it to the man, Elon Musk, no matter what the damaging consequences of that may be, considering the awesome power that he now holds, that he now maintains. What are the odds he actually comes on? Less than 0. Are you kidding me? He has never in a million years entertained contentious conversation. Are you kidding me? He lost his shit at Don Lemon, dude. A lot of my naysayers would much rather stick to their own platforms and cry over and over again rather than talk to me directly. It's actually rare that he mentioned you. Yeah, yes and no. He has in the past, but only tangentially. This is one of the first instances where he's like directly mentioned me. Burgles, thank you for the 50 bones. Yeah, he won't even do Jon Stewart, which I understand why he wouldn't do that. He would be thoroughly embarrassed by Jon Stewart, you know? So it is fun, though. It is fun that we can all unite.
Company.
Yeah, remember this conversation that took place with Elon and Don Lemon?
So you said if they kill the company, it's them. But doesn't the buck stop with you? I mean, you're on.
I have to say,
Cussy Connection, thank you for the 10 big ones.
Choose your question carefully. There's 5 minutes left.
Odds on if he's watching the stream right now, there's a likelihood.
Okay, but so
is this the question you want to ask?
The same question is you said that they are killing the company, but you're the head of the company. The buck doesn't stop with you?
I acquired X in order to preserve freedom of speech in America, the First Amendment, and I'm going to stick to that. And if that means making less money, so be it.
So I have to be, listen, I'm just being honest, right? I'm not trying to, like, get you or anything. I was just surprised that you would blame other people for killing the company. I mean, when you say the buck stops with the President of the United States, regardless of what happens, right? So why would that question upset you? You seem upset by it, are you?
I think you.
And I'm not trying to upset you.
Well, you are upsetting me because the way you're phrasing the questions, I think, is not cogent.
It's not what?
Not cogent.
Cogent.
Yes.
Go ahead.
If given a choice where an advertiser is saying like you have to censor all this content on the platform, irrespective of where their advertising appears, then our answer will be like, look, you can choose where you want your advertising, what you want your advertising to appear next to, but you can't insist on censorship of the entire platform. And if you insist on censorship of the entire platform, even where your advertising doesn't appear, then obviously we will not want them as an advertiser.
So what would you say to advertisers who have left the platform or who are considering coming back or not coming back? What would you like to say to them?
Well, first of all, almost all of our advertisers are coming back to the platform. So
nope,
it's a
they
very
didn't.
short list of advertisers who are not.
Yeah, the fantastic advertisers that come back onto the platform is Adolf Hitler, cryptocurrency schemes, and I don't know. I don't even get that many ads anymore, but it's usually like the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Yeah, porn ads is fantastic. Really cool stuff. Don't forget Nixon Groiper. That's what I'm saying. I get a lot of schizophrenic people on my ads. I'm not even using it as a pejorative, like literal schizophrenics. Yeah. Temu, I don't even think there's Temu ads. I never even see Temu ads. Yeah, advertisers are rushing back to advertise on Twitter so hard that Elon Musk is trying to sue advertisers to come back to the platform by force.
Not coming back to the platform. And our advertising revenue is rising rapidly, and our subscription revenue is rising rapidly, and I feel very optimistic about the future of the X platform.
Okay. Listen, I'm not meaning to offend you. You're an intense person. Where does that intensity come from?
I was born that way, and I had a tough childhood.
You did?
So, yeah.
How so?
So tough.
Right, Walter Isaacson goes into it in the book, and we only have a couple minutes left, so.
All right.
Too long to describe. The 1 or 2 questions I can do, and then we'll have to call it.
Okay. Again, I don't mean to upset you. Why are you just...
No, I have a whole room full of people waiting to meet with me.
Okay.
So we're just going over time.
Okay. All right. I understand that.
Anyway, I had a difficult childhood. My father was spectacularly wealthy. We basically had slaves. It was very difficult. Can everybody stop fucking demanding that I make meme coins? Are you guys so dumb as to think that I would ever entertain making a fucking meme coin? Y'all are literally 0 IQ if you think I'm gonna fucking make a Elon coin. Shut the fuck up, dude. Oh my God. What is happening right now? No, it is the diametrical opposite of my values. The fuck? Like, what is going on? Are the Elon haters and Elon lovers alike all operating on the same brain wavelengths? What's going on? What is this? I did unblock Elon on the website he paid to make a right-wing echo chamber. It's ironic because did you see this clip of Elon crying because his hero hates him?
There are American heroes who don't like this idea. Neil Armstrong, Gene Cernan have both testified against commercial spaceflight and the way that you're developing it, and I wonder what you think of that.
I was very sad to see that because those guys are, those guys are heroes of mine, so it's really tough. I wish they would come and visit and see the hardware that we're doing here, and I think that would change their mind.
They inspired you to do this, didn't they?
Yes.
And to see them casting stones in your direction.
Difficult.
Did you expect them to cheer you on?
Certainly hoping they would.
What are you trying to prove to them?
What I'm trying to do is to make a significant difference in spaceflight and help make spaceflight accessible to almost anyone. And I would hope for as much support in that direction as we can.
I didn't even know he was capable of crying. All right, moving on. Moving on from Elon. Yeah, this explains why he wants to kill NASA. He's like, if my heroes don't like me, then they can no longer have NASA. No more space travel for anybody. Only I get to do it. Only I get to have space travel. Okay, so where was I? Let's talk about some real news. Obviously, friend of the show, Hamdan Balal, who only a couple of weeks ago was sitting right there, has won an Oscar for No Other Land. He was one of the co-authors and co-directors of No Other Land, a story documenting the day-to-day existence of Palestinians living in the West Bank under the illegal occupation of Israel. Hamdan Balal was attacked by a group of rabid settlers in the West Bank. He was lynched by them. And then the Israeli occupying force came in and kidnapped him and detained him. Now, this is a normal part of the process, unfortunately, albeit cruel, but a regular part of the experience for every Palestinian, regardless of whether or not they have won an Oscar for detailing these exact events. Luckily, Hamdan is he's alive. He's not dead. And the lynch mob and the subsequent false detention did not, it harmed him physically, but he has now been released. There's updates from other friend of the show, Israeli minister of the Knesset, Dr. Ofer Kasif, which I will get to in a second. Let's talk about what happened that led up to these. You've all retracted the use of the word lynch. It's confusing people.
Award-winning director of No Other Land has just been released after being detained in the West Bank. Activists say police arrested Palestinian filmmaker Hamdan Balal after Israeli settlers attacked him, leaving his head bleeding. The IDF says the altercation started when several people, quote, hurled rocks at Israeli citizens, damaging their vehicles. Israeli officials say when police arrived to break it up, attackers threw rocks at them. Balal is one of 3 Palestinians accused of throwing those rocks, and ABC's Matt Rivers is in Tel Aviv following the story for us. So, Matt, what's the latest now?
Well, it does appear that he has been released out of police custody, and that's going to be to the great relief of his friends and family who have been extremely concerned.
Say attack because Americans get confused by the word lynch. Okay. It is a lynch mob. They did not kill him. They attempted. And then the Israeli occupying force came in and they detained him.
Since he was taken into custody yesterday.
Yeah, and the interesting part about the story, of course, is that immediately the framing that you hear by Western news outlets is that the Palestinians themselves actually kind of deserved it. Okay? Why did they deserve it? Oh, they were throwing rocks. Immediately adopting the idiotic pro-Israel framing on the matter. Like, oh, they did something that deserved the right-wing, far-right Jewish KKK mob coming in and brutalizing this person and their families. And then the ultra-nationalist military force that illegally occupies the West Bank coming in and packing him up and falsely imprisoning him. Ridiculous. Giving any air to the Israeli side on this matter as though they have any side whatsoever is basically defending Israel once again.
Evening over in the West Bank. We've been in touch with him ever since, and the big concern was they didn't know where he was being held, how he was being treated, and what he would eventually be charged with. We still don't know all the answers to those questions, but it does appear that he has been released. We've been in touch with his friends who say he is on his way home to go see his family. As is often the case with the West Bank, you have competing narratives about what happened here. You have the Israeli security forces version of events, which often say that it is Palestinians who start these things, that they are simply responding to Palestinian.
Why would you even bring that up? Like, there's no reason to bring that up.
Attacks, and then you have the other side, which is the Palestinians who live there.
Isn't this what Bad Empanada was saying about you? I don't know what you think you're saying in this situation, but I find it really funny because we're talking about a real issue, okay? A real act of violence that someone who was on this broadcast a couple weeks prior was subjected to, and your attitude on the matter immediately demonstrates your lack of interest in learning anything new because you fucking turned around and tried to make this about drama with a goddamn YouTuber. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Some of you people are so fucking pathetic. Okay, you fancy yourselves to be intellectuals. You fancy yourselves to be people who truly care about political acts. Okay, and you consider yourself to be motivated by empathy. And then when the opportune moment rises, you immediately turn around and just go, oh, this is like kind of exactly what you do on a daily basis, according to a video that I misunderstood. Shut the fuck up.
The activists who are there, and they say that this was Jewish settler violence, people coming into their town as they do all the time, and we have seen rising incidents of settler violence over the past several years, provoking people.
Aren't you conflating being Jewish with the policy goals of the apartheid state of Israel by referring to it as a right-wing Jewish mob? What? No, dumb fuck. Saying people who are part of the Jewish Power Party, or saying people that are Jewish themselves, like Jewish settlers themselves, operating like the Klan, okay? Saying that right-wing rabid ultranationalist settlers are the Jewish KKK is not conflating the entirety of Israel with Judaism. That's just what their ethno-religious background is. Yes, I've been wanting to be called a dumb fuck by Hasan for so long. Okay, have fun with that. There's never been a moment where I've maintained the position that like Israel is doing anything for Judaism. I always talk about the false conflation of Judaism and Israel and how damaging that is with regular frequency. Yeah, that's like saying you're conflating Christianity by saying right-wing Christian nationalists. Exactly.
Attacking them, harassing them, throwing stones, and that it is simply people like Hamdan, Balal who are simply defending themselves and often get caught up in this violence and then are subsequently blamed by the Israelis for starting it in the first place. That is the constant competing narrative on both sides here, and it is a big topic of the film that ultimately won that Best Documentary Oscar just a few weeks ago. So now Balal directing a film about this now is squarely in the middle of it. He is a resident of the West Bank.
Dude, how can you look at a documentarian who documented his day-to-day existence and then unironically experienced it again after winning an Oscar for documenting his day-to-day experience and still go, oh, well, you know, this is a hotly contested debate about both sides. It's like, no, dude, there is no both sides in this situation, okay? There's no circumstance where I think this guy would turn around and say, well, in the Emmett Till lynching, a hotly contested debate took place. Did he actually whistle at a white woman or did he not whistle at a white woman? Like, no, we know what happened. We know what happens in the West Bank every day. That is literally what the documentary was about. And now there is a living, breathing example post-documentary, because the documentary itself was already the experience that these guys had. What are you saying when there's there's no hotly contested narrative here? There's just the truth, okay? There's no both sides in Auschwitz. There's no both sides in the Jim Crow South. And there's no both sides when it comes to Israel being an apartheid state. The only people that maintain the position of both sides when talking about Israel being an apartheid state are those who want to cynically defend Israel by muddying the waters, by saying this is simply a narrative. There is no debate here. Israel is 100% an apartheid state. That's the case.
And this is something he has lived before. And unfortunately, these kind of events, these incidents have happened in the past. with increasing frequency. They are happening right now.
All right, Matt Rivers.
Yeah,
and Tel
the only hotly contested debate here is inside this person's mind as his conscience tries to speak out, but his mouth fights back and spits out fucking nonsense. Yeah, the only debate in these circumstances, is unironically a debate between wanting to maintain a fucking career and keep getting elevated in the media, in your media job, versus saying the truth. That is the only debate here. And unfortunately, careerism wins out virtually every single time. Every single time they pick career.
Hey, no! Can we go back to the car? Back to the car, back to the car.
Hasan, I was formerly a very pro-Israel person, and you've helped me look at the situation with much more critically, and I'm ashamed of my former views, which I did hold quite deeply. It's been a source of serious internal turmoil for me recently, and I'm struggling to discuss it with my friends and family, but I do thank you for your messaging. It has helped me see how I've been misled my entire life. You and chatters may think you were preaching to the choir, but I've done a complete 180 on my Israel-Palestine views. No, I don't. This is why I do what I do. And there is no reason to feel shame about your former self. It's important. What you do now matters more than what you said in the past. Okay? Never forget that. Don't let anybody ever hold you back about your former views or your former self. This is a fundamental part of my worldview. Okay? And you're not alone in this community. Trust me. You might think that I'm preaching to the choir, but this choir certainly did not have all of this knowledge pre-October 7 or even longer than that. I've been talking about this issue for 10 plus years at this point, very publicly. Having said that, there are plenty of people that also understandably had a pro-Israel position due to a metric ton of social conditioning before ever encountering someone who just helps them understand it. Where it just somehow clicks. That's it. You are surrounded by people who have had similar experiences. Trust me. I actually retweeted something about this recently from one of my favorite Israeli historians, as a matter of fact, Avi Shlaim. He had this to say. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find it. I retweeted it earlier last night, I believe. I'm going to show you real quick. Moin Rabbani posted Avi Shlaim's words. He said, Avi Shlaim, by the way, is a Israeli Jewish historian, a very famous Israeli historian, as a matter of fact, whose family is from Iraq. He's from Iraq as well. I've used some of his work in the past to describe to you, ironically enough, while responding to Ethan Klein's context nuke, talking about how like Jews in Iraq actually were under threat for sure. Synagogue bombings had taken place. Those synagogue bombings were conducted by Mossad because they wanted to create an environment of uncertainty, so that their Zionist goals could be accomplished. Why won't he debate you? I don't understand. Because what do you mean? Because he would look like a fool. He does not know anything about the issues he speaks on. He would much rather yell about me from his hug box about increasingly silly things in an effort to besmirch, in an effort to poison the well, in an effort to make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about, when in fact it is he who does not know what he's talking about, either omitting key details deliberately in an effort to craft a stronger argument by just straight up lying by omission, or because he just doesn't know. That's what it is. He is a hurt man. But this is not about Ethan. This is about Avi Shlaim. Listen. Avi Shlaim, I was radicalized in the archives. I was indoctrinated at school in Israel, and even more so when I served in the Israel Defense Forces in the mid-1960s. I believed that Israel was a small, peace-loving country surrounded by hostile Arabs who wanted to throw us into the sea, meaning that we had no choice but to stand up and fight. I accepted this Zionist master narrative until I became interested in the Arab-Israeli conflict as a historian. I spent a whole year going into the Israel archives every day, looking at the records which told me a completely different story, that Israel was aggressive, that Israel was deliberately provoking fights with its neighbors, and that Israel was not interested in peace. Israeli historian Avi Shlaim. one of the new historians in Israel that played a formative role in uncovering the actions of the early Zionist brigades in the lead up to the Nakba and in the aftermath of that. His most formative work, of course, his most famous work, of course, is about the Mossad actions taken in Iraq. Avi Shlaim himself is an Iraqi Jew originally. His family is from Iraq. Interestingly, growing up in New York City as an Orthodox Jew in yeshiva and in a radically pro-Israel environment, my experiences are very much like that of Professor Shlaim's, except without the military service. It had been my impression that Orthodox Jews were less beholden to Zionism than the secular counterparts, at least throughout 1967. Wrong? Question mark? Asked Moen Rabbani. Zachary Foster, who I've also had on the stream, is another Jewish academic, specifically a historian of Palestine from Princeton University. His attitude and many other people's attitude about Israel changed only when they arrived at the truth about what Israel had done in perpetuity. This is but a blip on the daily activities of this hostile, ethno-religious supremacist apartheid state in occupied territory that it illegally occupies, the West Bank.
Back to the car! Get in the car, get in the car. Oi, 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 oi. Get in, go. Oh my god. Oh my god. Good thing this window's working. My window was broken. Oh.
Whose car? I can't go. This is a military.
Okay. That was so scary. I'm so sorry.
This is the dashboard footage of the event where mass settlers, please stop saying poisoning the well. Look up the phrase's history. Are you saying poisoning the well in common lexicon now, especially in like debate circumstances, is actually about the blood libel that Jews poisoned the well? Is that what are you implying that I'm actually secretly being anti-Semitic by saying a very common term that nobody associates with blood libel? That is incredible, dude. Poisoning the well in modern application in a conversation like this is something entirely different than blood libel, okay? It means that you are trying to get the other person to look bad to your fucking audience in the way that I'm using it, okay? Thank you, woke of the day. Yeah, it's a type of fallacy, dumbass. Poisoning the well is a type of informal fallacy where adverse information about a target is preemptively presented to an audience with the intention of discrediting or ridiculing something that the target or a person is about to say. Poisoning the well can be a special case of argumentum ad hominem. The term was first used in this sense by John Henry Newman in his work Apologia Pro Vita Sua in 1864. I don't know how you deal with this. I don't have to. I usually will just like tell people to shut the fuck up. And most people don't care. They know. Like most people don't go, oh yeah, that guy's actually making some real correct points here, you know? Maybe Hasan is secretly an anti-Semite or whatever. What is going on? Did a baby F occur? Did a baby F take place? I didn't see it. I didn't experience it. I don't know what's happening. No F. Okay, let's continue. Yeah. Totally frozen now? Wait, what? Is this still effing? It's not effing on my end. What are you guys talking about? I can't tell if people are memeing or not. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. Anyway, here, this is Israel. Asked about Israeli settlers attacking and beating Oscar-winning Palestinian filmmaker Hamdan Balal, who was then detained by the Israeli army. Diana Butu explains the settlers and the army work in collusion, and the settlers are doing exactly what the army wants done. Here it is. I got to go.
Israeli army, as well as Israeli settlers, have been going after the people who are living in this area of Musafir Yatta. And we also know that in this area, the settlers have been emboldened because it's often the case that the Israeli army is backing these settlers as they're going out and attacking Palestinians. So we saw the video yesterday of these settlers attacking him. But beyond that, we don't know any additional details because he was very swiftly taken and put into Israeli custody. So even though he is the person who's been the aggrieved, he's the person who's been harmed, he's the person who's been attacked, he's also the person who's going to face the wrath of the Israeli army.
How concerning is it that no one has been able to contact him since he's been detained? And what rights does he or anyone that is detained by the Israeli military actually have in terms of legal access to a lawyer?
Well, look, in terms of what's happened to him, it's not at all unusual. What we've been seeing, particularly over the course of the past year and a half, is an escalation of these attacks by Israeli settlers. And despite the fact that there are often complaints filed against these Israeli settlers, we've seen time and again that the vast majority of these complaints go nowhere. In fact, it's more than a 98% rate of closure of these files. In other words, nobody is held to account. And there's a reason for this, is that it's not just the settlers who are acting alone, it's the settlers in combination with the army. And so while the army will sometimes say that these are rogue settlers, at the end of the day, it's the settlers who are actually doing much of the work that the army wants to be done. In other words, they want Palestinians off of their land so that they can ethnically cleanse the place and build more and more settlements. In terms of what their rights are, that's a totally different matter altogether. And because there is a dual system of laws, there's a system of apartheid, where one set of rules applies to Palestinians, another set of rules applies to Israelis. You can only imagine what it means for somebody like Hamdan, where he's going to have to try to get lawyer after lawyer to represent him.
What's also ironic about this paradigm is that Palestinians have a legal right, not only a moral right, but a, what the hell is happening here? Come on, camera, fix autofocus. There it is. Okay. What's also interesting about this is that the Palestinians that are living under a belligerent occupation that is illegally occupying their lands, ironically enough, actually have a legal right to resist against Israel and Israeli settlers. So technically they are, like, even if they were to attack settlers in that regard, they would be well within their legal rights to do so under international law. Like, for example, there is the Jenin brigades, right? And Tulkarem, and in different parts of the West Bank where the Israeli government is actively bombing the West Bank and actively rolling tanks through the West Bank, in an effort to squash any kind of resistance against the Israeli occupying force. This is a right to self-determination. They have that right. They have that moral responsibility and the right to fight back. Israel does not have a legal right to attack Palestinians in the West Bank. Israel's occupation of the West Bank is completely illegal. Its settlements are completely illegal. Do you understand? This is important to understand. This is important to recognize. So it's like doubly messed up that these guys will try to be like, oh, they threw rocks in our direction. You have no right to be there. In any case, Democracy Now! did some coverage on this as well, but we've talked about this issue extensively at this point. I don't want to belabor the point here, and I want to talk about Ofer Kasif, who went to the West Bank and interviewed Balal and Hamdan after he was released.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ofer Kasif. I'm a member of the Knesset with the JABA, with the Democratic Front for Peace and Equality. I came here not only on my name, but to represent the Communist Party and Hadash, JABA, to express our solidarity with the people of Mesafriata, of Susia, especially with Hamdan, and to wish you all the best. We are firmly with the people with the all Palestinian people who've been going through hell, especially in the last 18 months. Genocide in Gaza and ethnic cleansing in the West Bank. And what we saw here is only one example out of hundreds, if not thousands. And I call, like my
Did he say communist? Yes. This is the Communist Party in Israel.
friend said, I also would like to appeal to the whole international community. Don't leave the Palestinian people behind. Don't leave the people of Mesafriata behind. They need your support. We all need peace and justice. And the settlers, the settlements, under the auspices of the occupation forces and the encouragement and support of the fascist government, they are responsible for the whole bloodshed. do whatever possible to stop it. We want to live together as brothers and sisters, Palestinians and Israelis, Arabs and Jews. We are not enemies. We are not enemies. The real conflict is between those who do evil and those who seek justice, not between Arabs and Jews. Don't forget that. Be on our side, the side that seek justice.
Isn't this guy like a pawn of the Israeli government? That's such a funny way to talk about a member of the Knesset. Yes, Dr. Ofer Kasif is a member of the Israeli Knesset, okay? He is one of the few people in Israel that is an open anti-Zionist. I've had him on this broadcast before. As a matter of fact, directly after October 7, I had him on this broadcast. One of the things that we talked about was how disappointed he was in Bernie Sanders, who he had reached out to numerous times leading up to October 7, specifically on the issue of the West Bank pogroms that were taking place, and how Bernie Sanders did not respond to him. So he is a real, straight up anti-Zionist, one of the rare few.
As you heard, like the story of Hamdan, it's happening for everyone. But to target someone like Hamdan and Basil and other activists, it means like there is like a very strong message. They don't want like our Palestinian message to go all over the world. And it's like the time for everyone who believe in the human rights, who believe in peace and dignity, to listen to us. We are facing a very organized militant militia that, you know, took the law in their hand. Settlers, you're moving around with the military uniform. It means, you know, we are under military control. It means, you know, we have to obey their rules. It means, you know, we are victims of all these militia that's supported by this fascist government, government of Ben Gvir and Smotrich. So it means we are here, we will stay on our own land in spite of all these crimes, okay? But we need your support, is so needed, at least like to say your word. It's the time to end this, Israeli occupation.
Yeah. I want to remind people that the American government actively shipped small arms to the West Bank that got into the hands of these violent, rabid settlers. They were directly handed to them, as a matter of fact, by Itamar Ben-Gvir, and that those settlers have unironically done some damage to other Israeli people that they have assumed were Palestinian. Just something to remember. On the topic of Israel, friend of the show, Noah Samsen,
since I released
has done another video after his previous video of how YouTubers defend genocide. He did another one. The YouTubers who backed the genocide 2 weeks ago with 777,000 views. A lot of those YouTubers have retaliated against Noah, and I guess he has another response. Now, the reason why I'm watching this, well, also simultaneously, there is an additional note since this video came out, where Mudahar, one of the YouTubers mentioned in the video, has stated that he intends to sue Noah Samsen. This is his statement on the matter. Apparently, Ethan Klein is also choosing to sue Noah Samsen as well. In the last couple of weeks, a YouTuber, Noah Samsen, has uploaded a few videos labeling me a genocide supporter in the title and thumbnail of the video. Today, me and the team sat down to watch them and could not find a single clip of me supporting the Israeli government or any of its genocidal practice. Normally, I'd not engage with this discourse, but this has affected my business and has bleed into my personal life. As a Muslim, I've always supported my people, and I never talked about this topic with much political knowledge. That said, you don't need to be knowledgeable to stand against the injustices by the IDF. Journalists and civilians have been recently killed in a wave of attacks ending a short-lived ceasefire. That is never okay and needs to end, and I hope in my lifetime it does. It's really interesting that the first time that Mudahar has come out with like a bold declarative statement singling out Israel for its crimes is after he claims that he was being defamed by Noah. Ironically enough, Noah's argument was not that these people are directly saying that they love Israel doing a genocide, but instead was the fact that while Israel is doing a genocide, A lot of these people have shifted their priority directly to drama slop and to attack people who call out Israel's genocide. And in a way, making tacit endorsements or sometimes direct endorsements like Ethan Klein has, or by omitting the truth, creating a defensive posture against, or creating a defensive posture in support of the Israeli government. Maybe being a useful idiot. Now, from what I understand, here is Ethan Klein. He's gathering evidence for a defamation suit against Noah without having even watched either of his videos. By the way, Lamau, if you guys have any good, potentially defamatory Noah Samsen clips, drop them on the subreddit. Free speech lovers galore. Their bar is advocate rather than understanding what manufacturing consent means. Yeah. Anyway, so let's watch, without further ado, Noah Samsen's video. The genocide supporting YouTubers responded.
My video, the YouTubers who backed a genocide, there have been some developments. Ethan Klein responded to the video with an Instagram story shortly after its release, where he wrote, "God, these bread tubers are such pathetic fucking rats. When the fuck did I ever support a genocide? I criticize your idol Hasan, and you all resort to straight up character assassination and horrific lies. A campaign which resulted in the CPS call and harassment like I've never experienced in my 15 years on YouTube. Fuck you and fuck your movement. Socialism deserves better representatives." Soon after this post, Ethan brought my video up during his live show where he threatened to sue me.
So this fucking little scumbag here who put me and Mudahar, Turkey Tom, and Destiny in a thumbnail and said the YouTubers who backed a genocide. This is fucking disgusting, and I'm not okay living in this world where these little fucking punk ass scumbags can just say this shit and get away with it. Like accusing people, usually defamation, can be all different types of things. Someone supporting genocide, we throw this term around a lot. That's one of the most. I mean, can you say something more fucked up about somebody than that? Sounds pretty defamatory.
Yeah, I think there's a very simple solution to this, right? There's a genocide that is ongoing. If your criticisms during that process is entirely about people who call out this genocide, consistently smearing them as anti-Semites, lying about them over and over again, at a time when the Trump administration also is actively going after people who do criticize people who, Trump administration is actively going after people who do criticize the Israeli government, even deporting them, then yeah, it seems like you're not pro-Palestine at all. It seems like you are running cover. You are playing either inadvertently or directly the role of a soldier in the disinformation war in the Western world against Israel. If the amount of times that you have spoken out against Israel for the heinous, barbaric war crimes that it engages in on a regular basis is much, much, much more limited than the times that you have criticized those who speak out against such atrocities, then you probably aren't the number one advocate for Israel. I mean, the number one advocate for Palestinians. Sorry.
And again, I'm not taking any prisoners. If my attorney thinks there's anything in here, if he thinks that there's like a decent shot of defamation, I'm suing this fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. This person has consistently called me a terrorist, an anti-Semite, and a million different things. Like turning around and being like, I'm now going to create a frivolous defamation lawsuit against another YouTuber because I don't like that they recognized all of this and made a YouTube video about it is so funny. Like the hypocrisy is so glaringly obvious. This dude straight up made a context nuke with clips directly cut out of context in an effort to smear myself for, and others as well, for speaking out against Israel. And now he wants to do a fucking shitty defamation suit on a video that he himself did not watch. Because if he had watched that suit, if he had actually watched Noah's video, he would understand the point.
This little scumbag.
So he is threatening to sue me for defamation on the grounds that accusing someone of supporting genocide is messed up. I can think of something even more messed up than accusing someone of supporting genocide, which is, you know, actually supporting genocide. I can't imagine that it's pleasant to be confronted with the idea that you might be supporting a genocide, so the instinct here to deflect and deny without even offering any sort of actual defense against the points is an entirely predictable response. This is how the liberal media
Also, I do want to say this is a classic conservative move. Like, it's I'm more offended that you're calling me a racist than the actual act of racism that I engaged in and entertain. It's the same shit. That's exactly what's going on here. Oh, dude, what? You called me a racist? How dare you? That's what it is. I think the funniest thing is that you have real grounds for defamation. No, dude. And Ethan knows that he doesn't have real grounds for defamation against Noah either. Okay? Public figures suing one another for defamation is kind of idiotic. I have grounds to sue Destiny and Ethan for defamation. I would never do that in a million years. Okay? Part of the reason why I would never do that in a million years is because what kind of financial damages can I fucking point to? Like, the context nuke flopped just because someone defames you. Like, that's one of the aspects here is just like what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Since his context nuke didn't fucking work, he's been brigading everything that I've that I've been a part of, literally calling out journalists that have interviewed me even before the video came out, constantly telling people like, how do you engage in talks with a person who is like a rape denialist or whatever. I don't know, just like ridiculous shit over and over again. Stop saying you won't sue them. Why do you lay yourself fucking prostrate in front of fascists? Because I'm not a bitch. That's number one. And number two is I also understand how defamation suits work. Okay? For the most part, Ethan's lawyers, I think, are just farming him for money by saying, yes, King, there's definitely something we can get out of here. Kind of how Ryan Kavanaugh's lawyers have farmed Ryan Kavanaugh, seemingly. Law student here, the Supreme Court set a very high standard for defamation suits against public figures on matters of public concern. You would have to prove that no statements were made with knowledge of their falsity or reckless disregard for the truth. This actual malice standard is a very high threshold to meet. Yes, law student here is correct. The actual malice standard is a very high threshold to meet, and so any lawsuit is definitely meritless. There also needs to be like what are the material damages that you can show in that situation? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know why Americans love litigation so much. They constantly fucking act like suing someone is a power move. It's not. You're bitch made, okay? Trash Day's not inviting you back. Oxbridge Talk's not coming out. At least a loss of business. Is it a stretch? Trash Day's not inviting me back. Okay, dude. Yeah. I'm going to go to a court and be like, hey, guys, this anime podcast might not invite me back, which they probably will when I go visit Japan anyway, but that's going to be, it's really hitting the bank big time. Oxbridge, Oxford, you mean? And the Oxford Talk's not coming out has nothing to do with Ethan. What the fuck are you talking about? They knew I was a radical before they invited me, dumbass. That's why they invited me. No, the reason why the Oxford Talks haven't come out is because it's a bunch of students. It's run by a bunch of students. And they're not very good at responding to emails. I like that. Maybe that's why people keep constantly asking me about the Oxford Talk. They think that like it's hidden or something. Like, dude, they had way more controversial back and forth on Oxford. Oxbridge is Oxford and Cambridge. The Cambridge one is out. I filmed it. Anyway, let's continue.
Class will operate in the coming decades when it's time to answer for their crimes of manufacturing consent for a genocide. They will simply say, no, I didn't. If they say anything at all, most of them won't. It's happened throughout history. It happened with the Vietnam War. It happened with the invasion of Iraq. And it'll happen again with Gaza. What makes Gaza a bit different, though, is that unlike prior US-backed atrocities abroad, we all know what's been happening there the entire time. Israel's genocide of Palestinians in Gaza has been called the first ever live-streamed genocide because we've seen the entire thing as it's happened with high-definition cell phone video. The mass destruction, the ruthless attacks on the healthcare system, the deliberate targeting of men, women, children, medics, aid workers, the intentional starvation used by Israel as a weapon of war, and then the massacres that followed that starvation when Palestinians crowded around aid trucks trying to get what little food Israel
Yeah, it's ironic because like they do try to get financial damages. They do try to like materially harm me by constantly calling out my sponsors. Yeah, E was the first guy to cry about your Ubisoft sponsor. Now Elon is doing that, allies in your hatred for you. Yeah. It just hasn't worked. You know what I mean? It just has not worked. So what am I supposed to do? Yeah, they're defaming me. It's true. They are. But what happens when defamation is unsuccessful? You know, what do you do? Plus, even if it was successful, I still don't care. I just don't care. I don't want to spend any time on this shit. It's not me capitulating to fascists or whatever. I just, you know, I have more important shit to worry about. Okay? Like, what are you talking about?
Was allowing into the Strip the 20,000 slain children, many of them slaughtered with their entire families, the IDF terrorists recording and posting their war crimes, acts of humiliation, degradation, their torture and rape of Palestinians, the full support of Israel throughout all of these atrocities, the vile dehumanizing racism that is required to uphold a project like this.
I just think we need to kill them, every one of them, and that's it. And if not that, because the country will not let that happen, the government. Just the least we can do is just kick them out of our land, because this is our home, this is our land, and we deserve it.
What do you think about Palestinians?
That I hate them, and I wish they all died. We didn't stop, and we killed everyone.
You're gonna kill everyone?
Yes, yes!
You guys are animals. You guys are f***ing animal terrorists.
You killed 10,000 kids.
10,000 terrorists that would grow up to be the next. 10,000 kids that would grow up to be the next terrorists. That's
Really?
Because it's Palestine.
But I'm Palestinian. Does that mean I'm a terrorist?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm a terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want Palestinians in Gaza to die?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
Oh my God.
We've seen all of this, which is why the whole "no, I didn't" defense doesn't hold up, because, you know, yes, you did. We have you on video during this genocide that everyone saw, spreading propaganda that's been used to justify that genocide.
It's so vile to deny the suffering and trauma of the victims just because you need your heroes at Hamas to be perfect.
My friends.
Yeah, like, that's the thing that also frustrates me. Like, these guys actively made YouTube videos and, like, shit on people like myself for calling out Israel, or worse, because they didn't even have a position on Israel. Like with Mudahar, I don't think he did it specifically because he wanted to defend Israel. Okay? I don't know what is in his mind and the way that he operates, but I think his reasoning for making that video was unironically to just like farm some fucking ad revenue out of it. You know what I mean? It was just a grift. He openly admits he's not very knowledgeable on the situation and then actively takes a position. And it's so fucking sad. It's so pathetic to do that for clout, dude. Oh my God. The least you could do with a massive platform like you have is to do a little bit more reading on this matter. You know what I mean? Mudahar just wanted to stay with mainstream commentary people that hate you. Exactly. They're all in the fucking group chats with one another alongside Keemstar. They all did that. Like, they all actively have done this. So, oh my God, the Assassin's Creed social media account came into the rescue? That's crazy. Okay, this is a sidestep from the issue that we were talking about, but that's so funny. Elon Musk calling me a sellout. Assassin's Creed, is that what the guy playing your Path of Exile 2 account told you? Oh no. Oh my God. Oh my God. W social media intern. All right, let's continue.
Defeating our brutal enemies requires both courage and clarity. Clarity begins by knowing the difference between good and evil. And these monsters, they rape women, they burn babies alive. Many anti-Israel protesters, many choose to stand with evil. They stand with Hamas. They stand with rapists and murderers.
The Gazan Health Ministry, which, by the way, Gaza Health Ministry is run by Hamas, terrorist organization. I think a lot of people are all too happy to not look too deep into these things. But again, Gaza Health Ministry
is crazy. I'm glad that there is the bottom text here from Noah talking about the Gazan Health Ministry. Its numbers have historically been considered reliable by United Nations, the World Health Organization, and Human Rights Watch in relation to the Israel-Hamas war. 2 letters published in the Lancet Journal did not find evidence of inflation or fabrication of Palestinian casualty numbers. We've talked about this quite a bit at the time when Joe Biden went forward with this gross, egregious genocide denialist lie. Oh, it's the Hamas health ministry. I don't trust their numbers, said the American president at a time when Israel was doing a genocide. After that, every media outlet changed the way that they covered it. They kept repeating it over and over again. This was Israeli propaganda through and through, besmirching the otherwise completely accurate numbers, oftentimes unironically an undercount, as a matter of fact, by basically associating it like Hamas-run health ministry. We can't trust it. Okay? Now, what's interesting about this, what's incredibly frustrating about this thing that Ethan is going along with, by the way, what's insane about it is that every single party, including the American State Department and the Israeli government, use the Hamas-run health ministry numbers. They always have, and they continue to do so to this day. They simultaneously lied and said, we disparage these numbers, we don't believe these numbers because it's like run by Hamas, but they still use it and they know full well that it's the most accurate assessment you can make. How fucked up is that? How incredible is that? The question remains here for Ethan. Is he stupid or is he lying? Maybe both.
Is Hamas. There was more Jews displaced than Palestinians during the Nakba.
We have you on video attacking and delegitimizing the only groups in the world militarily resisting that genocide, with arguments plucked directly from the US State Department, the #1 material supporter of the genocide.
Terrorist groups.
We have you on video attacking and delegitimizing the most prominent media figures in the YouTube space who have been advocating against the genocide and breaking down the propaganda used to justify it.
Hasan loves all terrorists.
We have you on video running defense for the primary architects of the genocide.
Just the other day, Bibi fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about, and he fired him because they had a disagreement, and that's like so Trump coded.
Well, he was like a moderating voice in the war room.
Yeah.
Complete siege on Gaza. No electricity, no food, no fuel, no water. Everything is closed. We are fighting human animals, and we act accordingly. That's what he said. And then he launched a genocide on the Palestinian population as the defense minister. Ironically enough, that statement, alongside many other actions that Yoav Gallant took, led him to be on the arrest warrant by the International Criminal Court. The International Criminal Court's arrest warrant also names him as a war criminal, alongside Benjamin Netanyahu.
We have you on video attempting to portray the perpetrator of that genocide as some kind of beautiful, free, diverse, democratic state.
We're planning to go to Israel in June with my parents and all the kids. It's going to be such a great trip. And I'm actually really excited to go there. I want to show you guys.
You haven't been there in so long.
It's been a long fucking time. What I want to do is show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that when you listen to Hasan and you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking about it like it's some super racist, like crazy, like Jim Crow style of society. Like, I can't wait to show you guys how beautiful, how multicultural, how
like this right here is enough. That right there is enough to be like, I'm going to go to the Jim Crow South to show you guys that these fucking wokes are talking about segregation, separate but equal, okay? What is this? I'm going to go to apartheid South Africa to show you guys how multicultural, multi-ethnic apartheid South Africa is. All these freaking wokes who love the terrorists within the ANC are just disparaging the good name of South Africa. It's crazy, dude. What do you mean? You're just straightforwardly doing fucking propaganda here for an apartheid state that is currently conducting a genocide, like your goddamn Michael Rappaport.
Like free it feels for people, or just it's a beautiful place. It is. It's one of the most diverse places I've ever been.
These people all seem to believe that in order for someone to back a genocide...
It's ironic because he lived in Israel, and from what I understand, he fucking hated it. That's why he moved back to America. He was like, this place fucking sucks. Post October 7, though, now he's like, no, I love Israel. It's actually multicultural. It's fucking amazing.
They need to like look into the camera and say, I support genocide. I think it's good. More of that, please. And while we do have examples of certain parties to the conflict here doing just that, like Destiny and Asmongold.
I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided.
I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people.
I'm pro-genocide. Like, it sounds really shitty, but like, I think that Israel should just draw its fucking borders about where it is now, and basically Palestinians can go live in another place.
The most common and effective way to back a genocide doesn't look like that. Mainstream Western outlets don't say those Palestinian kids deserve to be killed. No, they say that some kids died when bombs dropped, that Israel says it was dropping on Hamas, which is a US designated terrorist organization. The mainstream Western media doesn't say that there are no innocent civilians in Gaza. They simply quote the death tolls as being reported by the Hamas, aka terrorist-run health ministry, and then report uncritically the IDF saying that most of them are soldiers actually, and soldiers are terrorists by the way, so who's to say what's actually true? The mainstream Western media doesn't say that Yemeni children deserve to die because they're all Houthi terrorists. They simply cite the Houthi-run health ministry, aka terrorist-run health ministry. So when the US and Saudi Arabia kill those children, it's a sad event in the overall morally righteous fight against terrorists. Terrorism is bad, remember, and terrorists are the bad guys. So if some kids died while they were going after terrorists, you know, I guess that's just war. We saw the same response of "no, I didn't" from Mutahar of the large YouTube channel Some Ordinary Gamers. When Hassan Piker shared my video on his Instagram story, Mutahar responded to this post writing, "I get watching other people's videos is all you're really good at, but try vetting out slander before promoting. I have never defended..."
Which is ironic because, like, he's literally slandering me in that process. Like, the notion that I only watch other people's YouTube videos is such a fucking stupid one, especially because every single week I'm either interviewing another journalist, an activist, including the guys that just won an Oscar for No Other Land, or fucking Bernie Sanders and AOC at their rally. Like, these people don't care about anything. That's what's so frustrating about it. Like, you're a fucking slop tuber. Just stick to Linus the Linux videos, okay? That's all you got to do. I don't know why you have to, like, enter this territory and then establish your flag as a guy who just, like, hates this fucking Hasan dude. It doesn't make any sense. Dude who's too lazy to fucking take a shower and, like, clean his goddamn t-shirt in his fucking videos. Dude who's too lazy to do any research whatsoever before he just goes, you don't do anything else. I said Linus, sorry. I meant Linux. It's so weird, man. How the fuck did Ethan and a lot of these guys go from, like, being people who care about the truth to this, you know? To whatever the fuck this is.
Or backed the Israeli genocide on innocent Gazans, never will I ever. Following this, there was a bit of a back and forth. Hassan responded to Mutahar on Twitter, writing, "In your only video on Gaza, you admit to not knowing about politics, you try to cover Israel-Palestine as drama slop for a centrist audience, you defend Asmongold for his inferior cultures and genocide comment, then attack pro-Palestinian voices." Mutahar wrote back, "Yes, I do admit to not being an expert on the topic. I didn't cover it as a drama since it isn't one. Serious situations with dead people and attacks happening every day. I just don't downplay rapes and sugarcoat violent organizations like you. Also didn't defend Asmin in vid." Later, Hassan wrote, "We were a year into the genocide here. This was your only video on the topic. It downplayed and ran defense for Asmongold's takes, while the bulk of your commentary revolved around how evil the pro-Palestinian streamers were from clips you compiled off of snark Reddits." Mutahar's final response was, "It's almost as if the bulk of the commentary matched what the video was titled and centered about, Twitch allowing violent and unfiltered rhetoric from your camp on its platform. The clips were actually sourced from the creators who streamed them." So what do we make of this exchange? Well, first, Mutahar denied covering the genocide as drama, but that's exactly what he did. He has never once uploaded a video covering this topic, except for when that coverage was filtered through a smear campaign that was making the rounds in the commentary community about a content creator they all don't like. You know, Hassan bad. He denies defending Asmongold in his video, once again making no effort to actually defend himself on that point, but that's also false. Mutahar whitewashed Asmongold's comments further than anyone else, really. He went so far as to change the content of what Asmongold actually said to make it seem like he wasn't talking about Palestinians when he was.
In this situation, one could, if they were to extend the charitability, could say that Asmongold was probably referring to extremists in the Islamic religion.
Even Asmongold himself admitted that that's what he said when he apologized. This is why he was banned. Now, whether Mutahar stands by this characterization of Asmongold's genocidal rhetoric or not is a different question, but he did do that, and the record shows this. His video is still uploaded on his channel. You can go watch it. Denying this seems to be just indicative of a lack of reflection on his part. Entirely predictable, but worth noting nonetheless.
I think a lot of these guys also don't care because they know their audience won't check them. and then try to maintain any sort of accountability for false statements. We are now officially living in the post-truth universe. I know it sounds kind of libbed up and silly whenever I say this, but it quite literally is the case. Nobody cares. No one fucking cares about what the truth is. That's precisely the reason why so many people come in here and will hear me advocate for certain things and refuse to listen to my advocacy and still operate on the basis of like what motivated them to come here because they watched a smear video. Like, even when the truth is hitting them directly in the head, they still refuse to grasp it. Absolutely. When I was in that echo chamber, there was just no outside source that could matter or change my opinion on you that I had pre-built. Nothing to do with politics at all. Yeah, that's the other side of it. It is also, once again, poisoning the well. Because they don't want to actually go after the arguments that I'm presenting, they just attack the messenger instead. And they do so by smearing. Like the silliest, from the silliest things to the most severe allegations that are completely untrue. And also easily dismissible, for the record. And yet, because most people don't care about that context, it doesn't matter. People are just like interested in participating in the smear campaign themselves as they feel as though they're doing something that gives them a sense of purpose and as though they are a part of a community, you know? Is there a way to fix the issue? I don't know, but I won't stop trying to abide by best standards and practices, no matter what other people do. Your only comment about Muda is that he is dirty and does not shower. I'm sick and tired of this anti-Indian racism. Why is your comment for Muda that he does not shower? Come on. Dude, he literally has stains on his shirt like while he was doing this video. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, dude, I'm secretly doing anti-Indian racism. That's not my only comment on Mudahar. The fuck are you talking about? Did you not hear half of the commentary from Noah? Or him literally reading my comments against Mudahar? The fuck are you talking about? This is unironically the example. The example that I was maintaining. Like right here. This is it. Guy comes in, doesn't hear a fucking thing I said, immediately grabs on to something and just basically fucking angles it in the most cynical way possible.
Watch it. Denying this seems to be just that, and the record shows Gold's this is why he was banned. Now, whether Mudahar stands by this characterization of Asmongold's genocidal rhetoric or not is a different question, but he did do that, and the record shows this. His video is still uploaded on his channel. You can go watch it. Denying this seems to be just indicative of a lack of reflection on his part. Entirely predictable, but worth noting nonetheless. The no I didn't defense is the expected response from centrists and liberal Zionists alike, but I don't know how well it'll hold up in court. I didn't back genocide. How could you say that? I just sat silently the entire time it happened, except for the one time I spoke up, which was
Didn't Hasan speak out against the racism that led Mudahar to leave Twitter? Of course, dude. Because yes, I think the endless faucet of anti-Indian hatred online that is so super fucking normalized is insane.
Actually to attack pro-Palestine activists with bad faith smears that originate from a community of openly genocidal Zionists.
I'm pro-genocide. They're terrible people.
Best of luck to you in your legal endeavors should you pursue them. I don't know how well that'll hold up, but have fun, I guess. In his last tweet, Mudahar seems to deny his participation in the smear campaign, writing, "The clips were sourced from the creators who streamed them. This is false." Mudahar did not source these clips from Hasan's stream. He sourced these clips directly from the smear website. He cited the website out loud and said, "Go check it out, guys."
There's a website known as DanClancySucks.com.
That was this was also insane. Insane. Like, he highlighted the fucking shitty ass like smear campaign website. Like, how do you, oh God, how do you fucking live with yourself, dude? Well, it's so gross.
Of some of the most popular streamers on the site. One of the most popular political streamer, Hasan Piker.
As we went over, this website is a compilation of out-of-context clips and arguments attacking pro-Palestine creators that openly embraces the support of genocidal Zionist organizations like the ADL and genocidal Zionist politicians like...
Yeah, also, if you don't know anything about anything, like the Amsterdam quote-unquote pogroms, right? Virtually everyone, including people that were there at the time, including media outlets that ran with the pogrom happening, the anti-Jewish pogroms that were happening, went back and corrected the record because it was a fucking lie. They even literally used footage from an on-the-ground reporter that showed that it was actually the Huckabee football hooligans from Israel that were fighting against the locals there. They were like hunting down locals, and they genuinely presented it as though the situation was the exact opposite. It was that it was actually the local Muslims that were hunting down Jews, right? If you don't know the context of that and you just literally look at this and you listen to the ADL and you go, oh, when one of the largest streamers on Twitch, Hassan Piker, spends the hours after the Amsterdam pogrom minimizing his harm without consequence, it's clear the platform still has far to go. That's it. You're like, oh, I guess this guy's bad. He's a fucking anti-Semite, I guess. That's why so many of the people that fucking come in here and agitate at the behest of these other dumbasses are doing... Sometimes they're fucking pro-Palestinian, literally, but they just are oblivious. They don't know enough. And then the random Jew hunts happened after. No, it didn't. Shut up. Jesus Christ. People still going after fake bullshit, dude. Oh my God. It was fucking football hooligans. What are you talking about? No, the other on-the-ground reporter was a 16-year-old Nordic kid. That's not who I'm talking about. There was like a photojournalist there who was filming the events. And they literally ripped her fucking video to be like, to say the exact opposite of what she shot.
Support of genocidal Zionist organizations like the ADL and genocidal Zionist politicians like Richie Torres. The community from which all of these allegations originate is that of a content creator who says things like this.
He is interviewing the guy who's about to go do some shit to get himself killed, basically. That's what's gonna happen. We know from this point, that's what's gonna happen. So he walks away, gets back a little bit, and then he sets up behind this thing, right? Is this concealment, I guess? Not cover, concealment, right? Because I think the tank's over here. So now he can capture the footage right here. He sees the guys walking, knowing that they're about to get shot, because that's what's gonna happen. And then eventually they get shot and everything is, this is it. It's like act 1, 2, and 3. It's like all here. Now this guy is down. He's dead. These guys are like... and fatally wounded. They're not even running. They're not even like cowering and running away and screaming in fear. There's like, okay, well, they did it. We got our shots. Okay, is this guy done? Oh, shit. Well, okay. Well, we brought the white flag so we can put that over the bleeding part, assuming he got shot and is actually right. Flag and then this guy, what, is this guy running back to grab the wife?
By this stage, the man's wife, his widow, has heard what happened.
And then, like, what does this mean? The wife has heard what happened. Like, bro, this is crazy. I'm sorry. The tracking live movement shot of the lady running up to her dead husband? Like, what is this?
By this stage, the man's wife, his widow, has heard what happened.
Somebody went back and told her, right? The 5 martyrs that walked forward, you know, your husband was the unlucky guy. He drew the short stick today, so come forward, cry for us on camera. Do you think the guy intentionally wanted to get killed? No, I don't think he wanted to die. I don't think they were thinking they were going to die, but they probably were hoping to get shot at, or maybe, so you're saying the woman was acting? I don't think the woman was acting. She probably was sincerely sad. Her husband got fucking killed. But I think they were farming TikTok clips. I mean, remember, these people actually, yeah, like have suicide bombers. So it's not that big of a stretch to imagine that they would be willing to get shot. However, now I haven't gone down this road because this is way more, it would require me to make a lot more assumptions, but it's also possible he didn't get shot. Right? Now, do we know the name of the guy? Is he actually dead? Do we even know if that's his wife? These are a whole bunch.
I had never seen the full clip. I don't remember him going. Notice how he almost said way more conservative and then stopped himself because he has to aesthetically maintain that he is like a liberal, a true liberal. Way more. I mean, this would be way crazier in terms of speculation or maybe conspiratorial. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to maintain. Maybe he wanted to say conspiratorial, which it is, by the way. It is a conspiracy, and it's conservative for the record. It is conspiratorial, and it is conservative. He just didn't want to admit it because he has to be the liberal who only says the truth. He doesn't speculate about conspiracy theories. I don't think he was going to say convoluted. Not that it matters. Look at what he's doing, okay? My speculation on this is utterly irrelevant.
Bunch of questions that would be valid. Now, if I was way more on the pro-Zionist side, I would be asking those questions. Who is this guy? Do we even know if he's actually fucking dead? Like, we don't actually see the wound. It seems like they don't have any problem showing anything else. Like, why just the white flag so that it can look all bloody? Like, show us the actual gunshot. You have no problem showing other violence, right? What Pallywood means is that you're capturing intentional video footage to sell a certain narrative about what's going on, basically. So Pallywood might be Well, this, right? So the idea is that like 4 innocent civilians are like walking up and you just want like a clip here of the idea of shooting them.
It's crazy that this person is not seen as like a violent radical by the very same drama slop tubers who are friends with him and get their notes from him. But I am for speaking out against these actions. Like, think about how distorted your worldview has to be, where you are fantasizing about an apartheid state murdering Palestinian civilians with a white flag and then saying, oh, they deserved it. Victim blaming to this fucking degree. Jesus Christ, dude.
For no reason because they're civilians with white flags. And you kind of ignore the fact that like, okay, well, they're in a battle zone in an area they were told to evacuate from, and they're going back to try to release somebody that was captured. Like, that's like Hollywood, I think. You're essentially provoking the enemy to take what is largely a justified action and then trying to say that it's like indiscriminate civilian killing. It's like a setup. It's not fake, but they're doing it to themselves.
Speaking of that guy, Destiny, the genocidal Zionist sex criminal video game streamer, he also had a crack at responding to my video where he made some interesting points. Destiny criticized my characterization of the 2018 Gaza border protests as being overwhelmingly peaceful by citing instances of violent actions that protesters took part in during the 2018 border protests, or the Great March of Return, which were recognized by human rights organizations as being overwhelmingly peaceful.
Overwhelmingly peaceful. Just as a quick thing, because people love to talk about the Great March of Return, the peaceful March of Return. All of this is like the peaceful Great March.
Dude, how are you not recognizing this is the same shit that, like, liberal, by the way, saying the same shit about the Palestinian marches, about that people say about Black Lives Matter. Doors open! Doors open! Sorry.
March of Return. Remember this, okay? This is all the peaceful Great March of Return.
Now, when I use the word overwhelmingly in my video,
he says this about Black Lives Matter too. I mean, he is a Kyle Rittenhouse defender, to be fair, so yeah, he does.
I used it as the word is meant to be used, which is to mean overwhelmingly, which means what the word means, which is to a very great degree or with a great majority.
Overwhelmingly.
Some instances of violence during these protests do not contradict my use of this word. The protests were overwhelmingly nonviolent, which is exactly what the UN report found.
The protest camps set up along the fence can make you do a double take. In parts, they look like a community festival, a carnival, a fair, like a distant cousin to Burning Man. Women prepare falafel sandwiches. Barbers give haircuts and trim beards. Lip syncers and dancers perform in the shade. Actors ham it up playing cruel Israeli soldiers. Families come with their children.
Ultimately, though, regardless of how the protests were characterized overall, the reason I brought them up in my video was as evidence that Israel has a history of intentionally targeting Palestinian civilians for slaughter. That's what the UN report found. Israeli snipers intentionally targeted medics, journalists, men, women, children, elderly people, and disabled people. Cite whatever instances of property damage, tire burning, flag planting, rock throwing you want. These are irrelevant to the fact that Israel intentionally targeted thousands of civilians with sniper fire. The commission interviewed an international journalist covering the demonstrations at the Malika site who described the scene that day. What was notable was the amount of injured people and the slow, methodical shooting. Every few minutes, you would hear a shot ring out and you would see someone fall, and then another shot and another person fell. It went on for hours. I saw a man who had been shot in the throat.
Yeah, the IDF also took credit over every bullet on a tweet. I don't take this as an offense, hopefully, but what happened that you and D grew apart? Did you at one point realize that his worldview was messed up, or did he turn on you once you had more success? Like, what's the story here? I don't want to get into the weeds of it, but I realized that his community was not as progressive or as liberal or genuinely empathetic as I thought it was initially, and that he himself was not really interested in advancing a cause, but more so just simply in it for the blood sport. And yes, in the same time frame, I was also growing as a content creator and had actually eclipsed him, and he can't stand that. He literally needs his orbiters in his mind, okay, people that he has a very transactional approach to constantly be by his side. And there are logs to prove this point. This is not speculation. There are logs all the way back from, like, I think 2018 or 2019, not 2018, sorry, 2019, talking about how frustrated he was that, I had more exposure than he did. I never really cared about or thought about it like that. I think it's, like, really fucking sad that this was the primary motivator for him. But, I mean, he has voluntarily revealed that he has no interest in anything really other than other than elevating his own personal status and like winning arguments and shit like that. So that's pretty much it.
See it happen, but I saw the immediate aftermath. He was covered in blood. I saw a man who had been shot in the head. There was a constant stream of bloody bodies being carried back towards the ambulances. It was surreal and endless. It became almost normal. It was happening so often. A shot, a person falling, people carrying the body away. The number of wounded was astonishing. I couldn't say how many people I saw who were shot because it was so high. I have covered wars in Syria, Yemen, Libya, and I have never seen anything like this. The slow, methodical shooting. It was just shocking. Presenting this fact is only a one-sided history if you think intentional civilian targeting is somehow warranted due to other unrelated instances of violence, which definitionally cannot be true. This is, of course, if we're taking international law into account, but Destiny's a Zionist, so that's not high on his priority list.
I'm pro-genocide.
Destiny has had similar Israel glazing-induced English language difficulties in the past. He had this same response when Norman Finkelstein brought up the 2018 border protests in the Lex Friedman Israel-Palestine debate early last year.
In 2018, there was the Great March of Return in Gaza. By all reckonings of human rights organizations and journalists who were there, it was overwhelmingly nonviolent. Along the Gaza perimeter, there was Israel's best trained snipers, correct?
I don't know, best trained. There were snipers.
Fine.
Snipers.
Okay, all right?
The
Because,
editorializing
hey,
support.
laugh. It's hilarious. The story's so funny.
You're lying about
It's
the Great
so
March of Return
funny.
had aspects of
Okay.
violence to it.
Okay.
According, even the UN says it
Okay,
themselves.
Okay.
But you only collect what the UN says that you like.
See, the problem, Mr. Morelli, is you don't know the English language. You don't
I can read from the
Did you
UN
hear-
website
did
itself.
I
In regards
say-
to the Great March of Return,
Please
they said,
stop with your
while the vast
idiotic-
majority of
with your
protesters have
idiotic-
acted in a peaceful manner,
No, listen to what
during
he
most
said.
protests,
Did-
dozens have
did you
approached the
just
fence,
agree with
attempting
me,
to
Mr.
damage it,
said there were
burning
all-
tires,
Did I
throwing
say
stones and Molotov
overwhelmingly
cocktails
nonviolent?
towards Israeli forces, and
Okay.
flying incendiary
Okay,
kites and balloons
okay.
into Israeli territory. The latter resulted
Yeah,
in
but-
extensive
but
damage
you
to
don't-
agricultural
you-
land and
okay.
nature reserves inside
Okay.
Israel, and risked the lives
Yeah,
of Israeli
because
civilians. Some incidents of
Mr.
shooting and
Borelli-
throwing of explosives
Yeah,
have also been
talk
reported.
fast, so
I'm just
people
trying to-
think that you're coherent.
I'm just
Notice Destiny's retort to Norm's description of the protests being overwhelmingly nonviolent is that there were actually aspects of violence. This is not a contradiction. Overwhelmingly means overwhelmingly.
يوم الأرض تاريخ 30 سنة على الحدود الشرقية في رفح كان في آلاف
Like pregnant women and medics that were clearly defined as medics, by the way, because fucking they were throwing stones, I guess. Random people were burning tires and throwing stones. I guess that's totally valid and not an insane overreaction. They shot people in wheelchairs, man. They celebrated the act of shooting a pregnant woman by memorializing it with a t-shirt, famously calling it a 2-for-1 special. Get the fuck out of here. It's a truly depraved country.
نساء وأطفال وشيوخ صلت علينا إنه وبعديها رجعنا صلينا الجمعة ورجعنا أنا فمسكنا أنا وياها إيد بعض وصرنا نقدم قدام والشباب صاروا وأغرسهم لم يعني أبوس أول ما شالوني
You find it so far-fetched. Israelis purposely, deliberately targeting civilians? That's such a far-fetched idea. An overwhelmingly non-violent march. What did the UN investigation find? Brace yourself. You thought it was so funny, the idea of IDF targeting civilians. It found, go look this up on your machine.
I already know what you're going to say. You're
It
going to say it found that
targeted
only one or
children,
two of them were
targeted
justified
children,
killings.
targeted journalists, targeted medics, and here's the funniest one of all. It's so hilarious. They targeted disabled people who were 300 meters away from the fence and just standing by trees.
Zionism's crazy because it kind of backs you into a corner of having to defend the indefensible. And I don't know, if you're as shameless as Destiny is, that's not really an issue.
They're doing it to themselves.
But for most rational human beings, you see someone arguing that and you say, oh, that's an insane person. And that's the high ground we have on Zionism. The more people understand the truth, the less people...
It's so funny that Destiny still thinks he didn't lose this debate. It is because he has to maintain a posture of strength because he understands that his audience only responds to that. If he were to ever admit defeat, then they would go, oh, you're a fucking moron. That's it. That plus we live in the post-truth era. It doesn't matter. He both lost on the optics and on the substance. He bit off more than he could chew. He was not going after like a fucking random misogynistic podcaster for once. He was actually going after someone who was infinitely more knowledgeable than him on this issue. Norm Finkelstein, at least on the issue of Gaza, is one of the most solid chroniclers of the truth. It's crazy. How come Norm doesn't fuck with you anymore? What are you talking about? There's no planet where he didn't fuck with me. He doesn't even know who I am. I live on the internet. He does not. He doesn't even have a phone. He has a landline. Mudahar called Norman Finkelstein unhinged and emotional. I have a clip of him, Turkey Tom and D giggling like a bunch of hoes, but I will get clipped if I share. Link, not sub. By the way, D said, all right, get permission from mods. And they, you can link it then. Yeah, you just got a permission. You can link the clip if you want now.
To be publicly willing to defend these crimes. Destiny later nitpicks my comment about the media's use of terrorist designation in articles before covering the attack.
I don't know.
Is everyone you bring on a troll?
No, usually I verify people, but I was like, fuck it, because it's really
Is Norman
big.
Jinkelstein a troll?
That's a good question. That I don't know. I'm not too sure about that.
Bro, what was that fucking debate even like, dude? I saw like a bit and piece on Twitter about it. Apparently they were like, yo, Destiny got owned in every clip that I watched. I'm like, the other, like, the guy who you were debating was just getting emotional the whole time. It's like, you're reading Wikipedia. It's like...
That second voice that you're hearing in the background is Mudahar. He was just getting, like, emotional the whole time, dude. He seemed to be such a brilliant orator, dude. Yeah. Oh, is it surprising to you that Mudahar took these idiotic stances, also going along with the smear campaign against pro-Palestinian voices, while also, you know, still trying to maintain a presence where he's like, oh, well, I think, like, you know, I just don't like death, dude. How did that happen? Oh, man. Oh, man, how did that happen? Here's the problem. People who don't want to fucking learn about anything, people who don't want to read about anything, would much rather get their information from this fucking dingus on screen. This fucking sex pest on screen. They like him. They think he's brilliant. Because he has the capacity to present himself as much smarter than he actually is. That's all it is. So they respond to the optics of it. It's ironic because he did this against Jordan Peterson so expertly all the time. I remember a time when Destiny used to shit on Jordan Peterson and his fan base aggressively because Jordan Peterson or Tim Pool or many other right-wing commentators would present themselves as like intellectual authorities on the subject matter that they were talking about when they very clearly didn't know what the fuck they were saying. And their fans believed them. Now he's been doing this for the past couple of years at this point. There is no better sign of your intellectual inferiority than listening to an argument, listening to a debate between two people and not actually seeing the veracity of the statements, not actually recognizing which side is presenting factual arguments, which side is presenting cherry-picked points and doing not such a great job at it either. And instead going, oh, well, he just seemed really emotional, so you lost. You won the argument, King. You were so unemotional.
Bro, they have sources attached. He's not clicking on the source.
Well, and also I never read Wikipedia to him. I was just fucking, I was like quoting like the either Amnesty International or the UN or the ICJ, but he was just, yeah, he was ultra triggered, but you know.
Yeah, but I read real books, not websites. I was fucking unhinged.
The funniest part about it is that Destiny is smarter than this. So I know in this moment, he has a little bit of fucking resentment towards who his allies are. Like, he'll entertain it because at least someone is on his side and this is like him licking his wounds. But you can tell he's just like, ugh. I don't even think he fucking likes Ethan. I think he probably thinks he's surrounded by fucking dumb fucks by his own perspective because he thinks he has a heightened sense of his own intelligence where he just like he thinks he's super brilliant and he's very narcissistic. So he probably fucking despises that there aren't any like genuinely intelligent people on his side on any of these issues. He'll take the help wherever he can get, and his fan base certainly uses Ethan like a fucking fleshlight, you know, uses him as a weapon basically. But you know deep down inside he's like, ugh, dude. Look at his face. He's like, yeah, good point, Muda. Really brilliant point, man. Yeah, he surely was emotional. I definitely didn't get owned there.
These outlets always, of course, make sure to mention Hezbollah's U.S. designation as a terrorist organization. Don't worry, guys. They were just terrorists. Nothing to see here. We got the bad guys. They were bad. We are good. Mission accomplished.
Relying on a U.S. terrorist designation is retarded. But you don't need to do that. You could just know what Hezbollah is, which is like a paramilitary militant group that's funded by fucking Iran that now has like seats in the fucking Lebanese government that is like hostily taken over the southern part of that country, right? You could just know that. You don't have a U.S. terrorist designation. But we're gonna start simping for them now? Is that what we're gonna do? Okay.
Even if we're going to explore the reasons why this terrorist designation is to him not illegitimate, it only reinforces the circular logic of the terrorist label. You don't have to call them terrorists to know that they are terrorists. Just look at what they do. They kill civilians. They violently overthrow government.
Yeah, it's so fun. This is the other aspect of Sexpestany's commentary, is that on the one hand, he tries to present himself as this like incredible debater. A lot of why the audience thinks he's a brilliant debater is because he is a skilled orator. Okay. He is not necessarily intelligent or knowledgeable on the matter. He's just very good at rhetoric and trapping people into and pinning them down into a rhetorical corner, oftentimes with the heavy utilization of logical fallacies that he tries to rationalize with a lot of confidence backing him, a lot of unearned confidence, really. But it's so funny. It's so funny when you are more knowledgeable on an issue and you listen to him talk. You're like, oh, I know what you're doing here. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're just manipulating the conversation to an area of pre-couched statements that you developed ahead of time. It's a rhetorical trap. And when the interlocutor knows better and doesn't fall into that trap, he just tries to like yell at them. The famous example of that is obviously the Michael from Pennsylvania argument that he had over, was it buy, borrow, die? Like, it's so obvious that he's in the wrong, and in the wrong because he's not knowledgeable on the issue, but he just tries to aesthetically win the conversation by yelling at the other person. Your prop clipping? What is that? What? Yeah, oh, so stock buybacks, yeah.
Governments. They take over entire countries. Okay, well, the U.S. does all of those things, but it isn't on the U.S. designated terrorist list, is it? Israel is U.S. backed, the U.S. being, by the criteria we just looked at, a terrorist state, but they're not on the list either. It's almost like these designations are selective and used to reinforce U.S. imperial hegemony. Oh my God, no way. What?
These subhuman, Neanderthal, knuckle-dragging, white dipshits, like Noah too, will sit here and fucking defend Hezbollah, which is what he's doing, as like a legitimate governing party. Hasan, the terrorist supporter as well, who is also very white. Don't ever be mistaken by his background or the way he looks sometimes, depending on what he's trying to present. Hasan is also one of the whitest people in the West, okay?
This is also such a weird, like, pathological obsession with the way that I look that these guys constantly fucking hit on. There's never been a moment where I haven't said that I'm white. Like, I will always say that I'm white. But depending on which side of the argument that you're on that suits your purpose better, these guys will literally call me a fucking brown Islamist, fundamentalist terrorist, or a white guy who's out of touch. It literally always changes. They are the ones who change the dynamic, and then they act like I'm the one who's changing the dynamic. Who was it? I remember there was a guy who was literally saying that I was trying to appear Arab because I was trying to appear Arab because it was the summer and I was going out and playing basketball, so I was more tan. One of his fucking dumbass fans was like, oh, look at you trying to look like an Arab, dude. Yeah, I'm a anti-white racist, but also an out-of-touch white guy. Fantastic.
One of the whitest people in the West. He's one of the whitest people in the West, folks. You've never seen a whiter guy than this Hasan guy. Ultimately, we don't need to take people like Destiny seriously. Zionists criticizing Hezbollah is not doing so in good faith. Obviously, he is a Zionist. He supports the genocidal Israeli regime and opposes resistance to it, which is what Hezbollah is. The group exists as a response to Israel's repeated colonial killing sprees in Lebanon, which are not terrorism, apparently, because Israel's the good guys. So he's not a person we need to take seriously. directly in any of these conversations on what needs to be done. That's the sort of criticism trap here on YouTube. You know, a guy who isn't a part of your movement criticizing your movement. I don't like having to even bring him up. I honestly just like that white boy's clips. I thought it was funny.
One of the whitest people in the West. Subhuman, Neanderthal, knuckle-dragging, white dipshits.
So I'll look at some more of this stuff in future video responses. I'm going to split them up point by point, see if we can dive a little deeper into these topics. I think that has potential to be worth it, but we'll see. Today, though, I want to look at just a few of the common arguments I saw from Ethan Klein, his supporters, and other participants of this campaign. And because this video is more influencer drama focused, I'm going to take that opportunity to do a sponsor now. That's when I'll do them, when I'm talking about random internet micro celebrities. For as long as I need to do them, which hopefully isn't much longer. Support me on Patreon to make them stop. There's been an escalation in the trend of crackdowns over free speech and the right to protest in America. The US government and intelligence agencies have the ability to deploy warrantless surveillance against anyone. This is done through things like Section 702, geofencing warrants, sales to data brokers, and national security letters, all of which are used by the government to bypass the judicial system to monitor your communications. Basically, if big tech has access to your information, so does the US government, which is an issue if you want to be protesting that government. This is why I'm excited to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is Proton Mail. Unlike the majority of other email platforms, Proton Mail is end-to-end encrypted with zero access encryption, meaning that emails from non-Proton Mail accounts are encrypted with your public key before reaching your inbox, which ensures that no one but you can access them. This keeps you totally immune from data breaches and surveillance. Most popular messaging apps offer this kind of end-to-end encryption, but many major big tech email services do not, like Gmail, for example. Proton Mail allows you to create email aliases whenever you sign up for new websites to hide your real email address, which you can easily deactivate if they're ever revealed in data breaches or start receiving spam. They offer other helpful features like email scheduling, tracking links.
Ethical Reacts also, before I forget, you can subscribe to the Hasanabi broadcast in order to help me maintain my editorial independence, and I won't burp into the microphone any longer. I keep forgetting to do call outs. That's right. You can subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Sext Haver, thank you. By subscribing, you get new badges, emotes, and also the opportunity to link stuff to me. That's right. Fantastic opportunity. From what I understand, Ethan is also now, once again, dude, has Ethan ever not projected, by the way? Like, has there ever been a moment where Ethan was like, this is something that I have never done, and now I'm calling out this person for doing? Has that ever happened? It's ironic because if he went after, like, I don't know, fucking Destiny for sex crimes or whatever, he could technically say that, right? He could technically be like, well, I've never shared nude, like, revenge porn with other random, like, Discord groypers that I want to fuck, right? Like, he could just so easily actually criticize someone without directly being in the crosshairs. And instead, in this instance, he's now, I think, yelling at Noah for having a sponsor on this, when in fact, ironically enough, his fucking context nuke was also sponsored. He was like, this is a very serious issue. This is the arch anti-Semite who loves terrorism. One of the most important issues of all time, pestering the Western world with his discourse, radicalizing the youth. Maybe he loves Hamas and also Hezbollah. Also, here's an Express VPN ad. Like, dude, what are you doing? Every single fucking accusation is a confession.
Damn, this guy's good.